Hello everyone, welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream today. There's probably going to be quite a lot of yap today, if I'm being honest. There is quite a lot to talk about. Like, we just had the Rush results come in. Wanted to take a look at the list that had made it into top 100. We were going to take a look at everyone who's made it to Worlds. That's all going to be very exciting. Once we do get through all of that, the plan is to play some Speed. So I haven't played Speed in a while, and I haven't really, like, I'm not super well versed in the current metagame outside of its tier 0. Like, I don't really know how to play against any of the new decks. I don't know how to play against Stardust. I don't know how to play against Therian. I don't know how to play against Destiny Hero. We're just gonna jump in and we're gonna see what happens. We should be starting against very low MMR people though, because that's just how World Championship Qualifiers works. So we will probably be fine at the start, when we especially just don't know how our deck works, and then we'll progressively hit a wall. So we're going to see how that goes. But before we jump into all of that, let's see who we have in the chat. Hello everyone. We have Darth Victor in the chat with first. I've gotten all the new dinos. Yes? Pretty much. I mean, there weren't a lot of new dinos to get, right? There was the UR one, the SR one, and the UR one is played as like a 1 or a 0. And then, like, the spell card. So there wasn't, like, a lot of new stuff. Because you don't even play any of the other extra deck stuff, because the skill puts them in your deck anyway. Do you know what arrived for me today? I got legendary decks. Oh, good. Nice. I mean, I like legendary decks, so. We have Hikari in the chat with the first. What do you mean speed, for once I can watch? We'll do an exclamation mark Hikari in the chat. I mean, I'm sorry, Hikari, but yeah, we've finished with Rush. Rush is done. Rush is over forever until we get a new ban list. So there's not really a reason to play Rush right now outside of, like, climbing ranked, I guess, is, like, the only thing really going on right now. So we're kind of in a bit of a lull period. That's just how we be. For those wondering, I got 2 of the 5D's legendary decks. What? Legendary decks come in packs of 3, right? How did you only get 2? Have you done, like, some weird chicanery to get to that? We have Giorfio in the chat. Hello, Giorfio. We will be looking at Giorfio's tweet today. Probably won't take long for us to actually hop into that. But we are going to be checking out what, you know, a lot of the top finalists. I don't know. What do we call this? We got the people that qualified for Worlds, and then we've got everyone else that just, like, did well. Because this is always the weird thing, right, with the WCQ. Is obviously they're numbered based on the position they came globally, but the position they came globally doesn't actually matter. It just matters where they came regionally. So, like, occasionally we're going to look at a list that's going to be like, this guy came, like, 5th place or something, and then it'll be like, but he's not going to Worlds, and it's like, oh, which is always a really weird feeling, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But hello Giorfio. There's no point in getting 3 when you're only using 3 of 2 cards, and those are like 10 cents. The rest you play 3, you get 2 or 3 in each box. Okie dokie. Hello Ursus, welcome, and hello Islet, hello Hit. How's everyone doing? You will claim the crown at Worlds this year. I think Giorfio is about due, right? Because Giorfio got top 4 both years, I think. Which, when you think about it, I think Giorfio is the only player so far that in both World Championships has made top 4. I don't think any other player has. Maybe Zeta? I'm trying to think if Zeta... the issue is, my memory is awful. But, I mean, to my knowledge, it might just be Giorfio at this point. Because we've obviously got Parko, who's been to Worlds 3 times, but in the first year, Parko didn't make it to top 4, right? So, hello, how you doing tonight? Hello, Voltalon. Welcome. Writing the article. Ooh, that'll be a good read when Voltalon's finished with that. What, you only face Stardust all day? I mean, potentially. I got 2 of the box. I got 6 decks. Oh, so you mean you bought the same product twice, is what you're saying? I mean, is there even a reason to do that? How many single copies of stuff do you have in there that you need multiple copies of, I suppose, becomes the question. I like Rush Climbing 2, though I love Speed. I mean, for me, Rush will always be what I gravitate towards. I think Rush I've really enjoyed since it came out in terms of, like, you know, OCG. Speed, I started off... we'll go through this, like, briefly. Obviously, when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just playing the TCG. And I started playing when the TCG first came out. I really, really enjoyed it. But then a lot of that is going to be... you got, like, anime hype of, like, all right, yeah, I love the anime, and therefore that's getting me into this. And then, obviously, you had, you know, everyone at school played it, so you had that kind of social aspect. And then I started going to tournaments, and then you have that, again, reinforced social aspect. I met a lot of my friends through playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would travel around the country playing in different tournaments when I was at school. So I really... Because of that, even if the game would maybe not have been as good as it could have been, because you've got that social reinforcement, it's going to make you enjoy the experience a lot more, right? So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, GOAT format was peak Yu-Gi-Oh! But if you have a lot of reinforcements telling you this is really, really fun, obviously you're going to enjoy it a lot more, right? So the experience of playing at that time was really, really good for me. Now, I kept playing all the way until the end of Edison. And the reason I did was because a lot of my friends started dropping out of the game. I started getting into a lot of other hobbies, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Just became less important in my life. And then I actually got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Ironically, for Duel Links. It was Duel Links that actually got me back in, and I played Speed. I played pretty much since release of Duel Links up until... God, it would have been around, again, like Synchro Summoning, I think, coming in. Around 5D's World coming in. And then I stopped playing that again, and then kind of fell off again, and then we got back in for Rush. So, I like both, or all of the formats, I suppose. And I also got back into Master Duel at one point as well, and I played a ton of Master Duel. So, at different points in my life, every different format of Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been my main format. So, at one point, Master Duel was my main format. At one point, TCG was my main format. At one point, Speed was my main format. And obviously, right now, Rush is my main format. So, I like all of it, right? I've got nostalgia for all of it, and I have love for all of the different versions of Yu-Gi-Oh! So even when people don't like specific versions, they like to shit on different versions, I'm always just going to be like, well, I like all of them, right? There are some I like more than others, for sure, but I like all the different Yu-Gi-Ohs, right? Feeling good about my performance, all things considered. Yes, you should do Ursus, although you were playing my least favorite deck, but still, you did good. And again, you should be playing whatever you consider to be the best deck, whatever you consider to be your best deck. And I think you did do that, and you performed very, very well. It's a shame you couldn't obviously place a bit higher. It's a shame you couldn't make it to Worlds, but you should still be very proud of how you did. For sure, for sure. Doesn't make top 4 at all this year. Yes, some products twice. Full Speed Warrior is a one-of. Synchro Fellowship is a one-of. A lot of others. MST Book of Moon, a one-of. Yeah, but MST and Book of Moon is a card you should have 300 copies of anyway, right? Every new card is a one-of, and 2-ofs are 3-of. Well, didn't you get any of, like, the rare cards? Like, got it over still, actually. Like, you get, like, the alternate arts. Like, this is my Starlight Mitsurugi prayers I got. Didn't you get any, like, Starlights or Sea reflecting there? But I assume you got some, like, additional copies of some of the cards in there. I can't believe Tomato is betraying us for Speed. You can play Dynamix on Rush Tomato. Dynamix is garbage! It's literally useless. It's one of those things where I think Dynamax is... When we get the new side pieces and everything, it will have potential. But even then, without a skill, it's still going to be garbage. And that makes me so sad. Like, so, so sad. After all, Full Speed is a one-card combo, so having it less than 2 makes sense. Well... It kind of feels like, in a lot of ways, if you're playing TCG and you're not playing a deck just of one-card combos and then, like, interaction, it feels like you're just doing it wrong. 2 chibis, 1 chibi token, and a chibi Cider Dragon. I see, I see. Well, let's head over to here, and we can start taking a look at everything. So, This, I imagine, is going to slowly get updated. This is our Rush WCS 2026 qualifier top decks. And we can take a look at some of the decks that have been topping here. So we have Shelmy, who did actually get first place. Now, Shelmy specifically getting first place here, I think is actually really cool. Because Shelmy is a previous Speed World Champion, right? I just think it's so cool to have someone who is basically... Like, there's always going to be asterisks, right? But effectively has proven themselves to be the best speed player in the world at one point. Now gets to be like, yeah, I managed to place #1 in the world in Rush. I think that's really cool. I really like it when you see a lot of, like, crossover there. Results are already in. Yeah, they are. They absolutely are. I collect... Oh, Art of Slender Dragons. I thought it was the same time as Speed. No. The results are always at the same time. It will be the ban lists will be at the same time. So sick that Shelmy got first for sure. Yeah, I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool. First 2 places is WCS 2024 results. What? What do you mean by that? Did Shelmy get first place in 2024 for Rush? I'm very confused. I think I'm misunderstanding, but I don't know how else to interpret that. Do we have friends voting for World? We should do, but we have to wait until everyone's, you know, going to Worlds, right? Taku got second in Speed. Oh, so this is Taku. Again, I don't really read Japanese. So this is Taku, and this is Shelmy, and both of these players were first and second place in Speed in 2024. That is very cool, actually. I do actually really like that. Finals with Shelmy versus Taku. Yeah, I try my best to learn the names of the Japanese players for Rush, but I don't learn them for Speed, because that's just too much. Like, first off, try to recognize, like, Japanese characters when you're not used to them is really, really difficult for me. So... No way Chrysio doesn't get hit further on the next list. Well, that was the thing, right? So obviously, all right, so let's go through some of these lists, right? So we got Shelmy's list. So what's weird about Shelmy's list? No vanilla Gradius, right? That's the first big thing, right? We're also playing a lot of trap cards here. So usually you would see 3 Star Pro and then maybe a Legend Trap. And that Legend Trap also, people were leaning more towards Negate Attack, but we were playing Compulsory Evacuation Device in this list. And then obviously the one of Shady is just kind of extra in here. So this is an interesting list. This isn't just like the cookie cutter Gradius list. Then we go down to Taku's list. And, I mean, is there anything weird about this list? This is pretty generic. We were seeing a lot of people playing 3 spell traps. And most of the time people weren't playing traps. So this is relatively generic. Like, if anything, I actually think the weird part of this list is we're playing 1 Shadow Sentinel and only 2 Meteor Lovers. Like, I think that's actually the strangest part of this list. Because how often is the 1500 guy going to be relevant? Whereas I feel like having the 3rd Meteor Lava occasionally gets you a Chrysaor or a Requiem into Graveyard, which then lets you get it back with Cataphract. So, like, it's an interesting decision. I just don't know what specifically was fueling it, right? Maybe there was like a mathematical formula they used to be like, well, having an extra 1500 in this percentage of the cases is going to be better. I don't know. I literally don't know. But weirdly, I'm already almost done writing Lamau. It might actually be done tonight. That's really cool then. I'd love to read it. I'd really love to read it. 700 games. Yeah, we will be taking a look at that too. I suppose we could do that now, right? So we talk about Shelmy anyway. So this is Shelmy's. So let's go. The competition was really tough. I never thought I'd make it that far, especially after losing 10 games on the second day. But I'm really happy I managed to do it. Persistence is always the key. I hope that some friends will be able to make it to Tokyo, guys. So Shelmy played 421 games, had 243 wins with a 57% win rate. It makes you wonder, what is the win percentage to really be aiming for in this sort of thing? Because as far as I'm aware, the more games you play, the lower win percent you need. But I don't know how much validity there is to that statement. That's just kind of the the feel it's always kind of been. But 57%, obviously that's not like insane, right? The way I always kind of think of it is if you have like a 66 win percent, that is insanely good, right? Like 66 is crazy. If you have more than 66 and you have like, you know, hundreds of games played, you're like the best player in the world. Like you've absolutely made it, right? Having one vanilla 1500 is nice for the skill because you stack it and mill it with Requiem. I'm trying to work out what the benefit of that is compared to just doing it with, like, a contact. Vanilla is actually useful as a skill target that you can thin out to remove non-forbidden hits from the deck, but also keep Explorer in the deck. That's fair. If we want to specifically keep Explorer in the deck, that does make sense. You just get rid of a useless card easily. 400 games or 700 games, pick your poison. I mean, basically, right? I only played like 30 this year. I gave up immediately. I mean, I didn't play that many this year, but again, I was specifically... Well, first off, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that if I didn't have a medical issue... Oh, we're in an ad break, apparently, but welcome back from the ads. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that if I didn't have a medical issue that I would have, like, grinded this and I would have... Oh, I would have pushed for top 10. Oh, I would have made it to... No, I wasn't going to do that anyway. But just having a medical condition that specifically was like, yeah, don't do anything stressful, this would have been a stressful weekend for me. So I was never playing in this anyway. But still, huge congratulations to Shelmy. Then we have Giorgio, who got Global 7th. We'll obviously take a look at his list specifically as we go through later. WCQ 7th place, Global and 1st EU. Gradius is probably the most fun deck ever released in Rush Duel Links. That is a statement. That is a statement. Do I agree with that statement? Is it the most fun deck? It's definitely up there. I'm trying to think like what my favorite decks are. I really like Royal Rebels, but Royal Rebels is a little bit one-dimensional, which is kind of where it falls flat a little bit. Like, when you do cool stuff with Royal Rebels, it feels really cool, but you don't really have a lot of like interesting decisions to make when you play Rebels. Obviously, you know, I'm a big fan of Noodles. If we talk about old Noodles, though, it was just a trap spam deck. Like, Noodles felt good because you had to understand how everyone else's decks work and know when to flip up your traps, but fundamentally, you just spam traps, which, let's be honest, spamming traps isn't, like, super fun. But then again, I do really like Destiny Door Divine Dragons, and that's another trap spam deck, so maybe I just like spamming traps. Other decks I think have, like, been super duper fun. Psychic Fusion. Yeah, Psychic Fusions I really like. I didn't like the version before we got the fusions. The version which was like Can Re-D? The one which you could chuck a card back in your hand and then bounce a face down card. I didn't like that version of the deck because that felt like unbelievably sacky. I think I to a certain degree agree with this statement. I think Psychics and Gradius are two of the more fun decks we've had. I also really liked Join Tech. But Join Tech was obviously it was a bit of a weird deck because you didn't really play spell traps in Join Tech. It was a strange one, but I like Monster Mash, right? I like just piles of monsters. Surprised Xiaomi's win rate wasn't in the 60s, to be honest. I mean, yeah, but I think when you get to a certain number of games, trying to maintain just above 50% becomes quite difficult. I had 100% win rate after 10 games. Extrapolating that only means I'm clearly number one. Exactly. When was the Avarice skill released? Ooh, that's a good question. Not, like, super long ago. Gradius is fun because it's one of the less reliant yellow button does everything deck. Well, so Gradius has a lot of weird things going on with it. First off, it is a modern deck. Now, obviously, the further we go, the less modern it is. But this is a deck that is still performing well in OCG tournaments, right? This deck is, comparatively to almost every other deck in Duel Links, this is a modern OCG deck. Now, again, it doesn't have a super broken yellow button, right? Like a lot of the other decks do. But that's because it doesn't need it, because its card design is so much further ahead than everything else in the game. right? So it's a weird kind of situation it finds itself in where, yes, it's more fun because the yellow button doesn't do everything, but the reason it's more fun because the yellow button doesn't do anything is because the cards have modern game design, whereas a lot of the other cards don't. Like, if we make this comparatively, or make the comparison between this and other decks, the only other decks that come close to this deck's, like, what's the word we're looking for? Like timeline of release in the OCG would be the brand new cards we've got for Dark Galaxy. So Probe, Stalk, White Rider, Dark Matter Requiem, and Forbidden Requiem. All of these cards are all very modern. All of these cards are seeing like tournament results in OCG right now, right? Now again, they're not like the best decks, but they're still really, really good. Then beyond that, it would be probably Destiny Draw Divine Dragons is up there, because that deck tends to play... First off, obviously, you got Aether Dragon. Aether Dragon is like... It's getting old now. Like, Aether Dragon isn't like a brand new card or anything, but like, it's not a crazy old card. That card is a lot more modern than a lot of the other cards in Duel Links right now. Obviously, that deck plays... God, what was the card? Balloon Bashir, or whatever it's now called. Butlier? I don't know, whatever it's called. That card as well is obviously very modern, but the issue, or the point is, that I'm trying to make here, a lot of these decks that we're getting have a lot of very modern cards, and because of that, just the way that the decks play is a lot more engaging. Because typically, a card released, you know, in 2026 is going to be a lot better and do a lot more than a card released in 2022, right? That's just kind of the vibe. Also, some people like grindy decks. I don't know if it's more about grindy decks so much as it's more about comboing. I think a lot of people who play Yu-Gi-Oh! Specifically like combo playstyles, because comboing is fun, right? Sitting there spinning plates and doing all these like really interesting moves is more engaging than doing a Dark Galaxy turn, right? Like, it just is. It just is. I was probably not out yet for December GRF yet, probably. The learning curve is also quite fun to learn. I think that's just comes with that style of deck. It's the same reason, like, the decks I really like in OCG are either Unga Bunga Go Face decks, because they're very easy to learn. You can just pick them up, you can have a bit of fun with them. Or they are the intricate combo decks. Like, I've always really liked Celeb Rose, I've always really liked Spark Hearts. I like the decks where you can do a lot in a single turn. It's not even necessarily like the complexity, so much as it's the number of actions you can take being quite high. I find quite fun. Not a lot of decks have ways to sack off its own board. That more modern thing. Yes, I mean, to a certain extent, but the way that you play Gradius in Duel Links isn't necessarily one-to-one how you play it in OCG. Like, for a big thing in OCG is that you play the Cyber Dragon fusion stuff, and like your primary win condition in OCG is to summon out Chimeratech Overdragon and just wipe your opponent out with that, which obviously you can't do in Duel Links. So maybe Hero? Hero to an extent. Hero is a weird deck, I guess, because Hero has had like several updates. It's sort of similar to how it has operated in Duel Links, where we get a lot of different waves of Hero, and some of those waves drastically change the way the deck plays, and some of them don't. I guess you could just say that they're very similar, like in how they play in both versions. Obviously, in the OCG, the big thing with Hero is you have Miracle Fusion at 3, and just having 3 copies of that card really changes how that deck feels. It really, really does. Metarian has modern cards. It does to an extent, but it doesn't have all of its modern cards. Whereas Gradius, I want to say, has every single Gradius card. Oh, that's not true. We don't have... I think we're missing a Gradius-specific trap, and I think we're missing Power Capsule Blue. But again, I don't think those are, like, super impactful. And obviously, if we want to play full custom, that's got to be attached to a skill. So maybe it is a fair comparison. The Metarian stuff, though, is weird because I think if Metarian had the Metarian Fusion, like the spell card Metarian Fusion, I think that deck would be a lot stronger, but... Morning, Tomato. How did you do in the WCQ? Hello, JD Scrub. I mean, I only played like 20 games over the entire weekend, so I did fine. I want to say I won 18 out of 20 games, something like that. So that was nice, but it wasn't, you know, it's not like a crazy good finish. I ended up getting 34th in North America, which was the best I've ever done. Ah, congratulations. Same here on complex decks being fun. I mean, I think especially when you are someone who plays multiple formats, if you're used to playing Speed or you're used to playing TCG, and then you go and play like Dark Galaxy in Rush, by comparison, you're going to be like, this deck was made for babies. At least if you play something like Gradius, you're like, oh, I could see the vision. This is at least like it's still easier, but it's kind of closer to what I want, right? Complex decks are fun because there's usually a line you can take, and it's down to the player rather than the deck to find it. To a certain extent, yes. I think it depends on how interactive the deck is. Because a combo deck can still just follow a spreadsheet. To a certain extent. It depends on how much knowledge you need of your opponent's deck and how much interaction there is going around the meta and how easily you can play through it. So a good example of this would be, we had the Red Eyes deck doing quite well. And one of the big reasons that deck was doing well, outside of just the obvious, is you could ignore Shady. And just being able to, like, ignore your opponent's interaction is really big. So, no way the 22 place Royal Rebel is on King's Greed. What spice am I not noticing? We'll take a look at it in a minute. Nice. It's quite funny looking at the Gradius and XQE skills and how XQE essentially have to play their skill compared to Gradius. Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder. Do we think Konami consider themselves to have made a mistake by not making the Gradius skill more restrictive? Now, personally, I like the fact that Gradius is a strong deck. I like the fact this deck is, like, decent. I like the fact that it's not being kind of gatekept behind a skill. On the other hand, they did release the XQT skill basically with the same restriction, but then they made it worse. So it would be the equivalent of like locking Lord British behind the skill as well. So it's like, oh, you have to add 3 Lord British and you add 3 copies of full custom to the extra deck, right? Which, that would drastically change the playability of this deck. So, I do wonder if they think they messed up. And that's why they made the XQE skill a lot harsher. Because you gotta remember, it's not even just, oh, you're forced to play the skill if you want to play the deck. It's also, you have to play a 33 card deck, which feels so bad. Like, so bad. Thank you for the follow, Muserado. Welcome, welcome. I like Gradius. Hello, B on Paradise. Welcome, welcome. I like Gradius too. Gradius is neat. I think if they could, they'd probably put Lord British or something behind the skill. Exactly, exactly. They actually should add more Gradius cards. I mean, there aren't many more Gradius cards to add, right? That's the other kind of issue there, I suppose. Typically, Konami don't like decks being flexible outside of their intended skills. Yes. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because the logic is, if you're forced to play a skill in order for your deck to work, it becomes a lot easier for Konami to balance it however they want to. Now, however much we'll sit here and joke that, like, oh, Konami don't have a balancing team, Konami don't care about any of that stuff, fundamentally, I think they just like having the ability to easily curve the power level however they see fit, even if it doesn't make sense to us, right? Now, is the XQE skill, in theory, the worst skill in all of Rush links currently? No. No way, right? Like, what about the garbage skills, like, add Seven's Road to your deck? Or, like, Hammer Shot deal is probably still not better, or Hammer Crush deal, whatever it is. I don't know. Like, some of the older skills have got to be much worse than the XQE skills, surely. We should get more decks that are good with generic skills, like Current Gradius. The thing is, I think a lot of people would really like that. But I think that's why Konami don't want to do it. I think they don't like the idea of these interesting pile decks, which is, I wouldn't be surprised if Konami aren't the biggest fans of Destiny Draw Divine Dragons being as popular as it was. Because that is effectively good stuff .deck. And I think Konami is like almost actively trying to get away from good stuff .deck. Matarian pre-UO. Oh no. Gaia's Flexibility got it killed. Gaia was such a cool deck, man, as well. Like, I liked Gaia from... Like, I liked the Duel Links version of Gaia. The problem was it was just overtuned. And then they absolutely destroyed it. Like, let's be honest, guys. If we had just made it... If we just made the deck xenophobic, we just made it so you couldn't play the Matarian stuff, we just made it so you couldn't play the hero stuff, that deck would have been fine. I don't think it needed to, like, get absolutely gutted the way it did. Article's already done? Nice. I mean, have you tweeted it out? Because we could totally read it on stream if you want. Hello, Tomato. Can we unlimit Meteor Flare Fusion now? No! No! Never! I don't know how I actually feel about Meteor Flare Fusion. Meteor Flare Fusion... I think... Would it matter if we unhit it? Does it? Like, what does it do? It allows you to play Star Protector's Protection in Red Eyes. That is what it does. Fundamentally, that is the only thing that is going to change. That's probably fine. Like, the deck might suddenly become a lot more playable. But, like, is that the end of the world? As long as it doesn't become, like, a tier 1, like, the best deck in the game, I think it's probably fine. Because let's be honest, Red Eyes ain't doing nothing at the moment. Made the Twitter post already yet? All right, we'll check it out in a minute. I'll boot it up and we'll have a little read. I don't see Red Eyes in the tops. Clearly, it's more than safe. The issue is, it can be very easy to just change one very minor thing and drastically change the meta. So it depends how much they want to do that, right? Xenophobic Gaia would have been perfectly fine. Also, Gaia came out in one of the worst sets we've had in Rush. I'm trying to remember what was even in the Gaia set, because this would have been right before the World Championship qualifier, right? Or like it was the set before the World Championship qualifier. Definitely seem to prefer anime decks and skills. Look at how restrictive the pyro skills are. Yeah, I mean, I think fundamentally that is less about not wanting you to have creative freedom and is more about, for the love of God, please don't make burn and stall decks. That's why they hit Santa. That's why they hit Extra Spice. That's why they keep making the noodle skills super restrictive. They're like, could you please just play the game, right? They're like, stop trying to deck people out. Stop trying to burn people to death. Stop trying to play a million trap cards. Just play the game. And the rest of the community is like, you know, but I could just mill my opponent out. But I could just burn my opponent to death. I'm pretty sure it won't be the best deck after Olympic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it won't be either. Like, fundamentally, it just allows you to have better ways to survive against, like, Dark Galaxy and Gradius, right? That's all it does, which I think is fine. Betting right now that Hero will receive 0 hits. 0 hits? You think it's not going to get touched at all? I think that is a bit... It would be very strange to me to see it get no hits at all. I think it's not going to die. I think it's going to get a slap on the wrist hit. It's going to get, like, a hit. Like, even if that's just, like, Miracle Fusion to 1, I think it will get something. Sea Serpents and Chemical Pyro was Gaia set. Yeah. I mean, that Pyro... The Pyro deck was okay, right? It was very hyper-specific good into Gaia. But it had, like, an okay matchup into Gaia. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, 90% win rate into Gaia. Whoa, but it had, like, a 50% win rate into Gaia. Which... considering it was practically a tier 0 format, that's quite good, right? It's like, you could just play the mirror, or you could play this, right? So I think it did okay. Sea Serpents, though, is completely garbage. Burst Wingmans means nothing to you. It had some cards, but overall was really mid-set. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Is there more Ether decks than Heroes? Almost certainly not. Not in top 100 at the very least. Also, the Galaxy Equip Box. I mean, potentially. We didn't actually finish reading this. Shout out to Cubes Quantum, a.k.a. the World Champion himself, for testing with me before the event, and most importantly, to the Asian guy that last GRF came up to me with the Avarice skill idea. There we go. Giorfio gets all of his best ideas from random guys. He just steals them and absorbs them for himself. Absolutely fantastic. That's what we like to see. I love that box, that deck on release. Oh yeah, the Gaia set was also the Equip box. Wild. So next up, we have Greed. So this is Duel Links Rush Duel World Championship Qualifier Asia Area 2nd. Following the OCG, TCG, and Master Duel, I've qualified to participate in this year's WCS as a national representative for Rush Duel. So that's really cool. So that means he's already qualified for both of the other versions. I guess he hasn't done Speed yet. So, you know, he's behind Zeta still. I still have a lot to improve on, but I'll prepare diligently to show you a great match. See you in Tokyo. So here, 12th in the world. Only 208 games played. And 62% win rate. Is kind of wild. That's kind of wild. Like, a lot of the other players were, like, grinding. Like, actually grinding. And bro was just like, nah, I'm just going to play 200 games. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Hope Star Protector's protection becomes unlimited. It's such an important card, this format. The issue is, if you unlimit all the best cards, suddenly everyone has everything, and then you just default to playing the best deck. If you specifically say the best decks aren't allowed to use the best cards, now you create a state of equilibrium, where you can have the best decks losing the really good staple cards, and the worst decks having access to these really good staple cards, which sort of brings the best decks down and brings the worst decks up. That's what I would personally rather see. So I don't want to see Star Protector's protection unlimited. I want to see more good decks get mandatory limit 3s to force them off of Star Protector's protection. And I want to see a lot of the worst decks lose their limit 3s so that they can play Star Protector's protection. That's what I would rather see. Equip releases Gaia tier -1 and Sea Serpent that got a single top 4. Never forget that Sea Serpent top 4, by the way. Never forget. I want to say as well, it was in like a mirror in the top 8. So it was like guaranteed top 4, which we love to see. We love to see that. Just top 4 by default is so good. Damn, he's super good, not gonna lie. How 200 games only. If you just win Lamau, then it's fine, right? Because he what? He won 130, which means he lost 78. So that is, let me say, that's almost a 2-to-1. That's 62% win rate is kind of nuts, right? I think they'll keep it limit 3. Keeping it limit 3 lets Konami control which top decks can and can't use the card. Only 200 her. I actually quite like Star Pro at 3. Yeah, I quite like it as well, personally. That's a good point, actually, understandable. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, you know, my opinion is, like, automatically the correct one. But it's, you know, it's obviously, it's my opinion, right? Obviously, we don't get to see what deck he was on here, which is a little bit of a shame, but it is what it is. Let's see, did he actually answer the question? No. That's, we're just looking to see if anyone says, like, what deck did you play? Everyone's just, like, very, very happy. Come on, guys, ask some questions. Just 3 goats. We love to see it. No one's curious. I'm looking for a question mark. That's what I'm doing. Looks like there isn't one. I want to know what he's playing. Mind you, it's Greed, and he finished in 12th, right? So there's a chance it's over here. 7, 8, 9, 12. There we go. Here's the list. So this is the list that they were on. Is there anything weird in here? So only 1 vanilla. He was on Gradius. Hello, Brad. Welcome, welcome. We are playing the negate attack. So this is a lot more standard. What has he taken out? This is pretty much cookie cutter. This is the Gradius list that I think majority of people were on. Like, some people were playing one extra vanilla and minusing a trap. And I think that was kind of the variance that we typically saw. Hello, Monosync as well, by the way. Welcome, welcome. We'll do an exclamation mark mono in the chat. As always, as always. What was the shock underperformer of the GRF? I don't think anything, really. I mean, like, I did my tier list before the GRF came out. And my tier list... I wonder if I have, like, easy access to it. Did I put it on the Discord? I did. There we go. I can just grab this up. So this was my tier list going into the GRF, right? So the best two performing decks were these two. So that pretty much checked out. The third best performing deck was Hero. The fourth best performing deck was Ether. The fifth best performing deck was Red Boot. So you can maybe make the argument that these two should have been swapped around. But, like, other than that, this was pretty much spot on. Because I think we only had a single Royal Rebel actually make it. Twitter happy, huh? I mean, from my experience, the Asian part of Twitter, or at least the Japanese and Korean side of Twitter, generally, the bits that I engage with, they're quite happy. They're quite civilized, quite nice. It's only when you get over to like the Western side of Twitter that everything kind of falls apart, in my experience. But I don't know. He was 12th, right? So according to DO Meta, it was Gradius. There we go, yeah. Fraud Tech and Fraud Rebel. Red Eyes fell hard in one set. Yeah, I mean, part of it is like power creep, right? And part of it is Star Protector's Protection. It's just a really good trap card. And it really did feel like the meta kind of got warped around it somewhat. But next up, we have Aqua Fuki, who is... God, what did your fear call this guy earlier? Taku? Was this Taku? But great job on the Rush Duel World Championship Series qualifiers. I powered through 701 matches with a single Dark Galaxy deck, securing second overall and first in my area to qualify for the main event. I chose a deck that matches my playstyle. This time I'm going for the World Championship, looking forward to your support. Which is wild, by the way. 701 games. 701. That is so crazy. 56% win rate. 700... I don't know. I think if I played 701 games in the course of a weekend, I would just not want to look at Rush Duels for a long time. I'd just be like, I need to, like, decompress. But this was the list. Again, nothing, like, crazy in here. We're still playing these three. We got the one of 1500 vanilla that we spoke about before. Then we got Moki Moki. So secured a spot at the WCS by finishing third in the world and second in the area. With this single-minded desire to wash away my last year's regrets, I kept running until the final day at 151. I'm truly thrilled to be able to stand on the stage of the World Championship again after 2 years. As a representative of Japan, I'll give it my all. So only 353 games. I mean, we say only, like only 353 is a legitimate statement. 59.2%. So, a bit higher win percent for a lot less games. So it does seem to collaborate that if you play more games, you don't need as high a win percent to get as many points. So... And then this was the deck that Moki Moki was playing, although I'm pretty sure Moki Moki was playing Hero for at least some of this. But this is the list that they ended on. Is this exactly 1-to-1? This is exactly one... No, the Legend Trap's different. This is almost exactly Shelmy's list, right? No, this is actually a bit different in general, right? Oh, he's taken out a Cyber Serpent. So it's -1 Cyber Serpent, +1 Radius to be Shelmy's list. Or to be the other list, it would be minus... Oh, I suppose you have to change the Legend Trap as well. It would be minus the Shady and put in a Cyber Serpent. Either way, there's not, like, huge changes between them, right? I expect nothing less from Crisis or Beatdown. Truly coin flipping. I mean, basically, right? I, too, want to play close to 1,000 games. Do you actually want to play close to 1,000 games? Like, is that something you actually want to do? Because I don't know, man. What's the usual number of duels for worlds-going speed players? I am not the person to ask that information to. Maybe if Dwan was around, he would know. Are the results out yet? Yes, the results are out. We know... I don't know if we know everyone that's going yet, but we have at least a lot of them. I don't know if they're also going to be posted up here when they're all confirmed or not. But we know that Shelmy is... Where is Shelmy from, by the way? Is Shelmy Latin America? So I don't actually know where Shelmy's from. Obviously, we got Japan. We got Japan. We got EU. This was the Southeast Asia region. I don't know if any of the rest of these are Southeast Asia, is the issue. So we know North America was Parco, right? So we got, I assume Parco. I don't actually know if we've had it confirmed that it was Parco yet. So that'd be, if it is, that's Parco. I assume this is Shelmy. This is Jorfio. Wait, why does it say number of invitations 2? This is wrong, right? Because shouldn't it be Asia? Asia gets 2, and Europe only gets 1. Japan is Taco and Moki Moki. And then the Asia is Greed and one other person. Copied it from last year. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm not gonna, like, berate you for it, for sure. But that means we know everyone, assuming Parco made it, right? Because I don't think we've seen guaranteed that Parco... I don't think Parco's posted evidence yet. So this, by the way, is the spreadsheet where it all gets updated and everyone posts it. But according to this, I believe Parco was the top finish on NA. So I'm pretty sure that is that done. Parco just posted. Let's check it out. Let's go and have a look. Jump over here. No, I don't care about terms of service. Parco, Wako, Taco. Guess I'm going to Japan. Thank you for everyone who helped me test, mostly the RF guys like Voltalon. Heroes felt good, but had times where it mostly luck and just queuing into the right matchups. I will do my best at Worlds as the best NA player. We love to see it. So 256 games, 59% win rate. And Parco, I think, actually did really, really well. I was trying to keep track of a lot of the players as much as I could. And a lot of the players, it felt like, would go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? It would be like, oh, we've got a win streak. Oh, we've got a loss streak. Oh, we've got a win streak. Oh, we've got a loss streak. Oh, they're first in their region. Now they're down to third in their region. Now they're back up to second. Now they're back down to fourth. And they were, like, bouncing up and down. It felt like Parco was the only one that managed to stay consistently, like, pretty much at the top the entire time. Which, especially in a very volatile meta, I think is really, really good to see. Brad has Control-C, Control-V. Yaku, the hero Roman guy. Ah, I see. So is he on here? There's Greed. Is it this guy? Maybe? The issue is I don't know their their names written in their native languages. I thought they united Asia as a category. I'm confused, but I did not play the Rush qualifiers. So it's like it's the leftovers is kind of how it feels. It's like Asia, Oceania, Middle East, and Africa all get like a region. They're all one region, and then Japan gets to be its own one. Only 13 monsters. Parko was top dog indeed. Our boy Parko, congrats to him. How many XQEs in top 100? I don't know how to tell you this, Bismuth. Not many. This is still being filled out, by the way. We're still only at 80 done so far. Hey, look, Murata's on here now. We can see Murata. We got Dwan. Dwan's there. Also, by the way, I just want to point out, Dwan is watching this be filled out, as we like to see. There's a lot of names I know in here. Iserius, Yobro Mike Ho. We got Sizz. We got Binny. We got Prisoner Tomato. We got Infi. We got Viper, Pro Player, Quantum Cubes. We got Ra, Mugi. We got Lex, Dipsilon, Rafuta, Sunrisante, Vino, Yusef, Kiryu Ryu, Ohaime Meister, Ursus, Zenzo. Like, so many players here. Was there any Sidra? Unfortunately, Tentacruel, there were no Sidra. Unfortunately, this is very much the Gradius Dark Galaxy hero, like, top 100. And everything else was basically... There was a bunch, I want to say... There was a decent amount of 4D. So, Destiny Draw Divine Dragons. There were 3 high-tech dragons. There was 1 Royal Rebels. I think that is pretty much like pseudo confirmed as the top cut. There might be like a couple of other ones that like slip in there. We'll have to wait and see until everything's like fully input, right? Maybe next year. I lost a pro player 3 times during the Gohar Cup. Well, that's never what you want to see. Ohaime the Rebels. Oh, was Ohaime the Rebels player? Let's go find him. Whereabouts was it? There we go. Royal Rebels. Top 100 Rush Duel qualifies 2026. Thank you to Sniffus, Dipsilong, and Benzo for hanging out almost the whole time, and Giorfio for the initial Rebels list. So it always goes back to Giorfio. Giorfio is just giving people top 100. He is too good to the people. That's what we're seeing here. Let's take a look at this list. So what is going on here? King's Greed. Welcome. Welcome to the conversation. I'm not sure how you made it here, but welcome. We're playing a decent amount of traps, not like an insanely high amount of traps. Obviously, we're playing the 3 copies of Trade-In. That's pretty standard at this point. We're not playing many normal summons. I wonder if that matters. Because originally, you would play as many normal summons as possible for the Red Eyes matchup. But obviously, Red Eyes isn't really on your radar at this point, so it doesn't really matter. We're playing the one of Heavy Metal, which, you know, Heavy Metal's a good card. We're only playing 2 copies of Chiron as well. And we're only playing 2 copies of Perion. Ohaime played during the GRF. Not only did he play, he was the only Royal Rebel top 100. That's what we like to see. Did Gradius beat Requiem for the voting gems? I don't remember what exactly the criteria was. Most used character prediction. Let me click on this quick. All right, about the campaign. Well, let me put this on screen so you can actually see this. So, predict and guess the most frequently used characters and skills of the top qualifiers. We will tally the number of duels in which each character and skill is used by the participants who earn WCS 2026 Finals invitations in the regional qualifiers, and assign points as follows. So it only cares about the people who got an invite to Worlds, right? So it shouldn't care about last year's World Champion. So that means it should only look at 7 players. So with that in mind, let's jump over here. Let's hit a refresh on this as well. So Gradius, Dark Galaxy, Radius, doesn't count. Gradius. Yeah, unironically, looking a bit bad for the old Dark Galaxy. Gradius. I mean, Parker was on Hero. So that's what? That's 6. So we're missing 1 player. 2 Zuijo different skills, 2 Roman different skills, 1 Nail Radius. So, Zuijo probably wins, but realistically, the most used skill is Avaricious Destiny Draw, right? I'm a Gradius hater now, they stole my gems. Well, unfortunately that is just what happens. So, is it the combination, or is it each individual? I assume it's individual. So, like, it's not going to care... Like, as long as Avaricious Destiny Draw was used the most, I assume that wins. Rather than, like... No, but it was, you know... Zuijo using it, or this other character using it, sort of thing, right? It's 2-2-2-1, but only the 2 Yuga have the same skill. Well, there we go, then. It really does sort of show that Gradius was the real winner here. Oh, wrong button. And the winner skill is Avarice. There it is. There it is. We now know. I mean, I'm a bit sad. I wanted my gems, obviously. Gradius best deck. I mean, unironically, yeah, Gradius best deck. But does that mean that Gradius might get hit the hardest with the upcoming ban list? There's potential. There is absolutely potential. I'm still really happy that Ohaimeister got top 100 with this. Like even top 25. It's so good. So good. You get something for being partially correct. No, it doesn't, because it's 2 based. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see what actually ends up happening. So this was the other one I did want to take a look at. So this is Tomo-chan. And they did 2026 WCS preliminary round. We finished 4th in the world, 3rd in Japan. We got overtaken at the very last moment. Imagine playing all weekend, right? By the way, Tomo-chan is the person that basically organized the PGRF, so the pre-Go Rush Festival, which was a big event, had a lot of data, etc., etc. Worked really, really hard, played all weekend, was in 3rd place, or I suppose was 2nd place in Japan, and then like the last like half an hour gets overtaken. Oh, that's gotta suck. That's gotta suck so much. But thank you to everyone who cheered us on. The deck used was Hero. Unfortunately, he hasn't got his stats there. We only can see his score, I believe. But it feels so bad. I feel so bad for bro. On one hand, it's really cool that Moki Moki is back to Worlds. Right? On the other hand, absolutely sniped Tomo. Which feels so bad. Surely Konami won't nerf it. I would be surprised if it didn't get nerfed at all. I think there is a world in which it doesn't get nerfed because they want it to be at Worlds. Which I think would be cool. I think Gradius is a deck I want to see at Worlds. Right? I mean, maybe we should come up with our list, actually, of decks we would like to see at Worlds. Like, right now, right? If they released no new product, right? It would be Gradius, Hero, Dark Galaxy, and then, like, I don't know, I guess 4D would be there. And then the last deck would probably just be High Tech. Like, these are probably your 5 decks, if you go to us. Now, obviously, there's a little bit more to think of, because you have the different deck building restrictions, you have to have different characters, you can't use the same cards across multiple decks unless you use them as, like, your flex card or whatever. So, it's we're not going to go too deep into that, because, again, it's irrelevant, right? Because we're going to have new products yet. But, like, I think this would be an interesting Worlds format, to be honest. Like Gradius, E-Hero, D, Dark Galaxy Contact, 4D, and High Tech. At least as a spectator, I think this is, like, diverse enough and has some interesting matchups across these 5 decks. I think this would be an interesting one. So the question becomes, we're expecting another product. Potentially, we're expecting a selection box. And we should also be getting a new character. So we're expecting quite a lot of stuff to come out between now and Worlds. High-Tech still mirror in Worlds. I mean, there's a chance, right? But what are the odds that both players will choose their High-Tech deck at the same time, I guess? Like, I mean, out of these decks, what do we want to see changed? I think a small hit to Gradius, a small hit to Hero, a small hit to Dark Galaxy. I think all of these are justified. I don't really think we need to see 4D hit. And I would like to see High-Tech hit, but not because I think the deck's overpowered, just because I don't like the deck. So it's like... it's going to be 1 more mini-box, 1 to 2 deck build, and a selection. Is there going to be 1 to 2 deck build between now and Worlds? Is that how that... last year we got the circulation box, the curse selection, and the shady box. Was the shady... When was the shady box? Let me have a look at this. I'm going to get them all up quick. In fact, we have this. So which one was the shady box? So we had Flash of the Shining Flare. This was the hero box. Then we had the selection box, which was Curse. Then was it Forbidden Fantastic Show? Was that October? The 1st of the 8th? Have a look. Where is Forbidden Fantastic Show? Oh, it's not going to be in this list because it's a bloody deck build. Deck builds don't count. October 1st of the 8th. Stream misspoke, no way. Hey, Dwan, welcome, welcome. So when was Worlds? When was Worlds last year? Was Forbidden Fantastic Show legal during Worlds? I guess it must have been. This was September, right? Yeah, so this would have been... I assume this was legal. The issue is my memory is so bad. Like, it's actually so bad. So we are expecting then to get an extra mini box. Or an extra deck build, I suppose. That was the shady box? Yeah, it was the last box legal. Okay. So that means... Yeah, so right now, we're kind of here, right? This is where we're at. So if we're going by the same release cadence, we're expecting to get a mini box towards the end of this month, or maybe early next month. Then we're going to get a selection box at the same time. Again, assuming it matches last year. And then we'd get a deck build box a month or two after that. I suppose it's about a month, right? Because it was 35 days. That's a lot of cards. And then obviously there'll be a character in there as well, right? We're expecting to get either London or Yuga Goha. I don't know. What do you guys want? Would you guys rather have London or would you rather have Yuga Goha? Like, going into the World Championship? Part of me is like, neither of them really matter. Because they're going to need busted skills to be relevant anyway. Yuga Goha. Which decks they play? So, London plays, like, Dark Fairies. We'll get them up quick. Either way, I'm going to let you know right now, neither of them are very good on their own. So London plays, this is his boss monster. So this is, let's make this bigger. Is that going to be, there we go, it's big. So if your life points are lower than your opponent's, send one other face-up dark attribute fairy type monster from your field to the graveyard. Change a face-down monster on your opponent's field to face-up defense. Then burn your opponent equal to its original attack. So like, there's stuff you could do there. His other like boss, I guess, would be Watchman of the Apocalypse. If your opponent has 6 or more monsters in their graveyard, it gains 500 attack and can't be destroyed by the effects of level 8 or lower monsters. So again, it's very hyper-specific. Now, they could give us Dark Lord Zerato, but I don't know if they would. Like, if we got Dark Lord Zerato, it could be quite good, but the issue is, this is just generically a good card, right? You would start, I think if you release Dark Lord Zerato, you'd probably have to start putting a little line of text on almost every skill, which is like, but yeah, you can only play high levels of your specific type, which I suppose a lot of skills already have at the moment anyway. But if we got this, like maybe if we just got some good, like just a good skill, again, we'll sort this deck out. It's just how good a skill do they want to give it. And then the other one is reptiles. So I suppose the most important one is this one, Ecdysis Kaiseleon. So this card gains attack equal to the number of cards in your graveyard times 100. So everyone keeps making the joke of like, are we going to get a skill that like vomits cards into the graveyard? Because this thing just having a permanent attack boost like is quite good, but obviously it has the 0 defense issue. Zerato Nuke, plus we have the low level Dark Fairy already that changes battle positions. Yes, we do. The issue is the actual cards themselves like aren't anything special. Like for example, if they gave us Python Princess of Purity, suddenly I'm like, now this would be an interesting card to include, but this isn't really a Yuga Goha card, right? Like if anything, people more associate this with Mitsuko or Terza. But this is a really good card. This card's fantastic. So if we got this card, this would be a sick card to take to Worlds. Booba! Hello, Serena. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, again, from the London like angle, it's basically Zerato or bust, right? Skill idea at the start of the duel, if the deck size is exactly 40, immediately mill 10 cards before drawing. But you could. That's a way to do it. I kind of want Matarian Fusion. I mean, there's no reason to not get Matarian Fusion. But I will say, it's not really in the conversation. We are currently talking about London and Yuga Goha. Not really talking about Yuo, but it's all spell traps. Just don't play spell traps. That's the trick. Holy Rushgrass. I mean, unironically, right? That's kind of what Kaiseleon is for. So these are sort of Yuga Goha's bosses, or his cards. We already have Predator Ganleon. This card's kind of ass. Then we have Ecdysis Kaiseleon. This is like his kind of main boss. And then we've got a bunch of like quite mid ones. This is a level 7. Pay 1,000. Change one face down monster on the opponent's field to face up attack position. That's not bad if we could get like the discount on tributes, right? Suddenly that becomes playable. This was one of the things we talked about before. Is I think a lot of these cards are kind of ass because their levels suck. This sucks because it's level 7. These suck because they're level 6. If these were level 4... If you had, like, a similar skill to the... What's the psychic deck called? Not Candy. Wait, they all pay life points? They do all pay life points, yeah. That's, like, the kind of that other gimmick. What is the... What's the psychic deck? The one that mills a lot. V-Friend, thank you, Dwan. There we go. So I think if you got a skill like V-Friend that makes them all like 2 levels lower, and you can summon this for 1 tribute, and you can summon these for no tribute, I think that potentially could be good. And then Clormelian is also good. It just gives piercing, which is nice. This deck just dies so easily. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The thing you have to remember is, this is a 7s era deck that never got new support, right? So whereas... If we look at, for example, Music Princess. Music Princess was a 7s era deck, but it got modern support, which made it kind of good. Even then, we still needed a really good skill to make it actually good in Duel Links. This is a deck that is just 7's error cards, never got, like, new support, and is going to need an even better skill to be relevant. So it's definitely in a bit of a weird spot for sure. I mean, is there anything else that's like kind of... This is a nice like visual representation, but in terms of actual like looking at data, I think this is actually a bit cleaner to look at. So I wonder if it's being filled in over here yet. No, it's not yet. Not yet, but soon. Soon. We've got what? Gradius, Dark Galaxy, Gradius, Hero, Dark Galaxy, Gradius, Gradius, Dark Galaxy, Gradius, Hero, Gradius, Gradius, Hero. Ether. So our top Ether Dragon was Kuwabara. Mystery Archive at the moment. Gradius, Gradius, Dark Galaxy, High-Tech Dragon. So Ursus was the #1 High-Tech Dragon player. Let's take a look. See what he said, actually. Wow, I didn't think I'd finish in the 20s or second in the region. This is amazing. What a great run. Holy. Congratulations, Ursus. PHX Parko? What? What is this, by the way? What is this, like, graveyard of players? Oh, no, this is the play. Why is Parko PHX? So Quantum Q's was there. We got Pro Player and Viper. America seemed like it's actually quite competitive this year. 561 games. That is still wild to me, by the way. 561 is crazy. God, didn't even post the list? Oh, disgusting. Royal Rebels from Ohai Meister. Dark Galaxy, Dark Galaxy. Another Ether Dragon from Vino. But anything else that's like kind of crazy in here? Another Ether Dragon from Infi. Ether Dragon. I'm not seeing anything else that like stands out as being a bit weird. Cut it down to 86 down there. MP War Crime deck. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm ready, Dwan. I'm ready. It's going to be beautiful when it's done. 561 TCG Pocket Team, I think. Kind of meme. It's in a previous post. He did in the previous post. All right, we'll go looking. We'll go looking for Ursus's. Where is it? We got to read this as well in a minute, actually. God, 43 minutes. How do I waste so much time doing nothing? How do I do this? Rush GRF, this one. So, on one hand, we have dropped a lot of the traps, because a lot of people were playing this as a very trap-heavy deck. On the other hand, we're back on Pierce. Oh, Pierce is such a weird card. We're playing 3 flat and 3 Pierce, so we're just really trying to win off that, which is weird as well. And the reason I say it's weird is because Star Protector's protection was very prevalent in this WCQ. And yet, we're all in on Pierce, which specifically, I guess it's not specifically, you can use it with Red Boot enhanced as well. But like, whenever you see Pierce, you always think about Concurrent. And it's like, Concurrent doesn't work with Star Probe, right? Apparently, I've been following you for 2 years. 2 years? That's crazy. That's wild. I'm going to steal that Royal Rebel list and discover what King's Greed's secrets are. That's what we like to see. That is what we like to see. All right. Let's have a look at... Yeah, we'll continue as Henry. That's fine. I don't think this matters too much. By the way, this is a burner email account. My name is not actually Henry. So, WCQ 2026, a reflection. God, this... Right, this is going to be wild. Let's get ready for story time. Let's also make this a bit bigger. The annual WCQ once again gives us the opportunity to compete and qualify for the World Championship. As per usual, my goal was to do exactly that. However, this year really did not go as planned. This article will detail my preparations, deck lists, and reflections on my performance. To preface this, I was unable to secure as much time as I wanted to compete properly. As I am still in national service, my ability to take leaves is limited by military training. Conveniently, I had an off on a Friday, but was unable to secure free time on Monday, meaning I still needed to book into camp at night on Sunday. The issue is, because I haven't done military service, this is like so like foreign to me. My burner email is no one RB hater. Exactly, that's what we need. Blue Dragons will never kill under Star Pro anyway, but Pierce helps into Gradius because it always kills. That's fair, that's fair. Still, I knew that it was still theoretically possible to qualify under such circumstances, but it would be difficult. Going in, I wanted to get a massive lead on Sunday, big enough to tide me over on Monday with as few games as possible. This required me to somehow break into the meta, or break the meta in half, which the new set had given me the potential for, so with the format. As per usual, a new mini-box Eternal Genesis was introduced to shake things up, to shake up the format before the WCQ started. Immediately, there was a scramble to figure out what was good, aided by... Oh, we're in an ad break. We'll wait for the ads to go away. Three, two, one. Welcome back, everyone. Especially if they don't have set monsters to flip the Flapdragon. I mean, that makes sense, right? Immediately, there was a scramble to figure out what was good, aided by the various tournaments and point battle rooms that were being hosted. The initial sentiment was that the new box was not that impactful, but in reality, it was only that good chunk of new/updated archetypes, Dark Magician, Seven's Road, Light Galaxy, XQT, and Dark Dragon were underwhelming. That sounds like a lot, but the remaining cards were immensely impactful to the metagame as a whole. For context, the format prior to this was quite slow, with High-Tech Dragon at the top sniping the various slow decks like Hero and Royal Rebel, with Red Eyes being able to pressure them effectively, and Gradius as another all-rounder. To illustrate where the speed of the format was, Red Eyes, which initially favoured a low trap aggro build, transitioned to running more traps for disruption to align with the environment. However, once the new box arrived, the metagame started to quickly speed up. Dark Galaxy, which had received its modern contact fusion support, was immediately very popular. The initial hype was around the Tearfing the Destroyer, the old skill, to quickly kill the opponent, while backed up by an in-engine back row removal due to Void Veil Beyond Probe. However, soon after players began experimenting using Void Veil Chrysaor, the linchpin of Tearfing with the new Requiem Contact skill. Initially, this was less popular as both it and Void Veil Rider were limit 3s and thus conflicting, but players ended up being fine cutting 2 or 3 copies of it to fit in their Chrysaors. This resulted in a deck that could similarly kill you very quickly as early as their first turn going second, but with the added assistance from being a more stable skill. This would quickly prove to be incredibly powerful, ending up as one of the main pillars of the format. Because of how fast Dark Galaxy was, while still having an in-engine back row removal, it was judged that the only safe way to deal with it was to use Star Protector's Protection, which will be referred to as Star Pro moving forward. Star Pro is unique as it has a very lax activation condition, being able to be used before they even have the chance to destroy it. Limiting them to only one attack means that you cannot die if you have enough life points. You may still die if you had taken prior damage, but ideally you can kill them before that matters. Since Star Pro is a limited 3 card, not every deck had access to it, so it was important to find a deck that did not already use limit 3 and had good synergy with the card in the first place. Among the other options, the frontrunner was Gradius using the Avaricious Destiny Draw skill, allowing for the immense kill power to turn the tables after using Star Pro. Brews using Destiny Draw Divine Dragon skill, to be referred to as 4D moving forward, were only getting more popular, such as 4D Control utilizing an incredibly high trap count, and 4D Pressure using Dragonic Pressure for an easy OTK. Both decks could theoretically use Star Pro, but the control build had less synergy with it, as it needed to control the board using the disruptive traps. Hero, despite not meeting the criteria as Elemental Circulation is also limit 3, was also still fairly popular, as they themselves could kill through Star Pro, and the addition of Elemental Hero Heliosphere made Rising Hero Argent more stable. There were many options, but these were generally considered to be the top decks of the WCQ format. I don't know if we're going to read all of this, because this is very long, but at the very least I want to get the cliff notes. So this was the PGRF results. We've already looked at that. PGRF, currently testing me run by Tomo, other team members. This would ideally be where we figure out the environment and find a strategy to beat everything reliably. Unfortunately, the conclusion was that Dark Galaxy and Gradius were strong. Hero didn't perform particularly bad, but its win rate going second compared to first was quite different, making it seem less reliable. 4D performed horrendously, largely causing most players to drop the idea entirely. Among the other decks, not one managed to show particularly promising results, except Royal Rebel. So Royal Rebel was not particularly popular during testing within the Royal Roman Fangirls team. We knew that Royal Rebels... That's my team, guys, that's my team. That's my team. We knew that Royal Rebel was a competent deck, but it could use Star Pro naturally. They had the OTK power to make use of it properly and could use trade-in to increase the chance of drawing into Star Pro. As such, I found it to be a promising candidate to test, however I ended up not getting as many games in with it as I would have liked. Despite that, I still did get in 10 games, 6 of which were against Dark Galaxy, all of which were wins. I went 8-2 overall with Royal Rebel, one of them was largely due to carelessness, and the wins looked promising. Okay. Let's skim through a little bit here. We've got Dark Galaxy, we've got Meteor Lava, we've got the 3 spells, which, again, this was pretty standard. I think a lot of the lists were on these 3 spells by the end of it. We got Gradius. Again, nothing, like, particularly crazy in here. There's the Rebels. Curse the Rising Light, Trade-In. We got the Heroes. Weird traps. I kind of want to read this. Widespread and Buffeted Slime are very normal this format to survive against Dark Galaxy and Gradius, but I want to focus on the other 3. Rice Terrace Crisis is easier to use against Gradius compared to Shiny Shady, which requires a card in hand, and also can be more impactful as a functional turn skip rather against the Mirror. The catch is that it is bad into Dark Galaxy, which completely ignores it. I think Shiny Shady would have actually been better in this slot overall, but when building the deck, I really wanted to make sure I could beat up Gradius, which was very popular at the time. Nobody Phantom Thief was more so for the Dark Galaxy matchup, as you won't take damage from Chrysaor, but mainly it was there as an individual draw effect to help with the consistency that incidentally has a defensive utility. If you only draw 2 low levels, Nobody Phantom Thief can even keep you alive against Gradius. Fusion Cancel is the weirdest trap in the deck, intended to be another way to stop Dark Galaxy from killing immediately by targeting Forbidden Requiem, but it also has value into Gradius to remove an attacker and potentially survive. Eventually, for a similar reason to removing Chiron from Royal Rebel, I cut Piercing Samurai, so as to include 1 Shiny Shady for 6 hold traps. Count. And then ended up 151st. Alright, let's read the conclusion. This year felt like I was completely outmatched, which feels crazy given my confidence level moving into the WCQ. There's definitely a lot I can improve on, and it only goes to show that I am nowhere near peak yet. Congratulations to my teammates Giorfio and Parco, who have qualified again. Like last year, I will still be involved in testing, so expect an article for the WCS proper. I'm also looking to write deck guides and actually publish them this time, so you can look forward to that too. Now that I'm not limited to focusing on good decks, I can even write about jankier ones, and of course, we will still keep playing and try our hand at future GRFs. I will no longer be in national service next year, so I will have the free time to fully commit if I want to. We'll see what happens when I'm at full power. Practicing for next year? Voltalon. So I'll go ahead and chuck this in. I will read the rest of this, like, off stream. It's just I don't think, you guys want to just sit here watching me read a note for the entire stream. But I'll go ahead and chuck that into chat, so everyone should give that a read. Read the what went wrong part. I think that's the most important one. Okay. Let's read this then. So, laying it out like this, it reads like the most unfortunate experience, and that I was completely scammed. Well, part of that is true, but I wasn't completely unaccountable. Looking back at the format, I had missed out on one very crucial detail that could have changed my entire strategy. I consider myself to be somewhat of a generalist, but I am able to play many decks proficiently to, let's say, 75% output. During the GRFs, I often take advantage of this by switching between various decks depending on the trends at the time, as I know that my own playing skill will not depreciate. On the other side of the spectrum, there are specialists. Specialists may not be as experienced with as many decks, but are incredibly proficient in the few decks that they focus on. If generalists can get a 75% output of a given deck, specialists can reach 90% or even 100%, complete mastery over their respective decks. As an extreme example of this would be a one-trick, but you don't have to play only a single deck / character to be a specialist. This format highly favors specialists, and I'll lay out exactly why that is. Most players would agree that the format is very volatile. Decks are incredibly powerful and can completely explode on you if they are given the opportunity. However, there is also a lot of room for luck to play a big factor in games. From more direct forms of RNG with Dark Galaxy's lottery mechanics, to simply being prone to bricks if a certain consistency cards aren't drawn like Hero. Radius, I feel, cares about this the least, but it can still happen early game with certain weak going second hands, or you may have terrible mills with Cyber Serpent and Ripple Laser. And of course, nothing may matter if the Dark Galaxy opponent makes Chrysaor plus Forbidden and you didn't draw a trap. Drawing Star Pro too many times against Radius can make the game feel unwinnable for them as well, requiring 3 whole turns of attacking to get a chance to kill. These luck factors are very prevalent across games in this format, meaning that there are many opportunities to randomly lose that you had no control over, more so than the other formats in the past. These issues exist in almost every relevant deck in the format. No matter what deck you play, there are various pain points and bricks unique to that specific deck. This reduces the relevance of deck swapping. You may have a theoretically positive matchup into a given deck, but each deck is awkward enough and prone to unlucky moments that even good matchups don't go past something like a 60-40. This makes it difficult to get much value out of switching decks. Does it matter if every deck loses and bricks all the same? If anyone can win games by getting lucky, then who is truly good at the game? We're getting very philosophical here. How do you gain an edge in this format? Well, if there are many games that are out of your control, then what about the other games? Those games have ways that you could have optimized your plays to give you the best odds to win. Or maybe you missed lethal due to poor sequencing. Or you could have approached the matchup entirely incorrectly. This is something I did a little bit, I think, as well. When I was testing Gradius originally, my takeaway from it was Gradius is kind of mid, because if you don't open Star Pro, you get OTK most of the time. But I think a lot of that was just not understanding the matchup as well, and also having a very poor sample of games, right? In a lot of the games I played on Gradius, I would just not open trap cards. And then obviously, your experience with the deck is going to be drastically different whether you do or do not open a good hand. And in almost every game I played against Dark Galaxy, my opponents would always open Chrysaor. So they would just 100% of the time OTK me turn 2 if I didn't draw a trap card. So it's awkward, right? Because the other thing you can do in that matchup is you can, instead of going defensive, so instead of setting 3, 800 defense monsters, you can just try and make as many bosses as you can. So you could try and end on double ripple plus option. That works slightly better in an extent, because now Chrysaor doesn't just kill you on its own. But if your opponent still just gets lucky with Forbidden Requiem, they can just pop your guys out of the way, so that still just doesn't matter. If your opponent can make double Dark Matter Requiem, that is just lethal anyway, because they'll make 2 43s, change your monsters to defense with 800 defense, attack over each one for 35, that's 7,000 damage, so you die anyway. So to a certain extent, it's do you approach the matchup wrong, or is it more the RNG factors have such a large percent of winning and losing was based on the RNG factors that it didn't really matter in the first place? Anyway, let's keep reading this. If you don't play your absolute best in the games that were in your control, then you are bleeding points that should have been free. There is very little room to make mistakes if you want to squeeze as much value out of your games as possible. To gain an edge in this format, you must not make mistakes over the several hundred WCQ games that you play. You need to have internalized every little detail to be able to functionally play on autopilot for a long period of time. Therefore, the best strategy for this format is to pick a deck and play it obsessively for the entire duration and to be very good at it. You need to be a specialist. Many of the players that did well were able to latch onto a deck and keep playing just that repeatedly. If you took a generalist approach to this WCQ, you will inevitably be playing each respective deck at a lower efficiency than specialists that make more mistakes, thereby losing more points. Anybody can take a generalist or specialist approach to whichever format, but it is up to them to choose how they want to play the format and prepare for it. While my strategy made sense given my time constraints, it would have been a stronger play to just relentlessly practice a deck like Radius up until the WCQ, where I would just play the one deck over and over again. Because I am naturally more of a generalist, I ignore the possibility that I could have that could have given me a better shot at qualifying compared to what I ended up doing. No matter your preferences, there is always a chance to view things objectively and change your approach based on the facts. Real. I got 307th place global. Congratulations, PTRG. Imagine getting lucky with Dark Galaxy. If only that was ever me. The thing is, it's the reason I don't like this format. So, trying to read into what Volt's written here. I would say I am also more of a generalist. To an extent. Because I make YouTube videos, right? I play every deck to an extent. Now, whether or not I play a deck for 3 hours and then never play it again, I've still played that deck for a bit, right? I think, though, the times in the past when I have been at my strongest is when I have just played a single deck. So, for example, back when the game first came out, I latched onto 7's Axel Road. And I played 7's Axel Road a ton, and I would win a whole bunch of tournaments of 7's Axel Road, and I loved it. And then the next time I went on my tournament winning spree, that would have been Noodle Ninjas. After that, it would have been Royal Rebels. After that, it would have been probably Light Galaxy and Heroes would have been the decks after that. So it's in general, I think I do perform better when I play just a single deck and just grind that one deck. So I think it makes sense, right? But again, I typically tend to play a bunch of different decks rather than just one deck. High Tech being straightforward helped out a lot. Holy text, well, what are we reading? Hello, Bala Sparkle. This is Voltalon's breakdown of the World Championship qualifier. We're just going through it. So speaking of time constraints, it seemed that some players who did well played an absurd number of games this time around. While I personally clocked around 330 plus games, some people played even more to an insane degree. The second place global player, Aqua, played a whopping 701 games. That is almost 10 games per hour, assuming no rest, which is completely unreasonable. Another player, I'm not going to try and pronounce that, also played over 600 games. Even if I had a completely free 4 days, I wouldn't be doing that. But if it was necessary to qualify, I would be absolutely outgunned, which is kind of crazy. Almost as much text as an average Yu-Gi-Oh card. Just a pendulum card, okay? Just a pendulum card. But yeah, I posted a link to it if anyone wants to go through and read this themselves. But yeah, this is wild, right? Again, some of these players, it seems like around 300, 350 seem to be the average that people were playing in these, looking at these results. So I think that is kind of where we see it. I mean, Parker only played 250. I mean, Shelmy didn't play that many, right? Shelmy played 421. Where was the guy that played... I don't know if we can see how many Jorfio played. I think he posted it. Yeah, this one. This guy played only 208, which is still, wild to me that we managed to get through with only 208 games. Alright, let's close some of these. Don't need all of it open. Let's see how this is doing. Oh, it's so close. It's so close to the end. Soon. Alright, well with that done, I think that's kind of everything we wanted to talk about with the WCQ. I guess we'll quickly take a look at this. This is the OCG meta, if anyone cares about the OCG. So this is the OCG pie chart right now. As we can see, this is I wouldn't call this tier 0. But I would say we're getting there, right? Where Execute? Execute is probably on this list. I'll tell you, we'll go and get it up. We go to Google Image. Oh, Google Translate, I guess is what I want. I want Google Image Translate, but I think it's going to be fine. Images. No, that's not going to work. So what I want to do is grab... Yeah, that's fine. You can do that. All right. There you go. Execute right there. Right there. You see that? Tied 9th. Play high tech the entire time. Nah, but all of days 2 and 3. I mean, that's, yeah, it's the majority, right? So here we have Rebellion. So Rebellion here is... what are they called? What do they call it on here? What is the deck called? Defiant Soul. Yeah. So Defiant Soul is 63.4%, which is kind of wild. Spark Hearts. This is my deck, by the way. I love my Spark Hearts. 9.8%. And then Animagica. This is Hikari's deck. I don't know why this is specifically 0, but I assume this is what we're actually looking at. So 4.1%. Void Alv. This is not Void Veil. This is a different one. This is the like Elemental Galaxy deck. Then we have Gradius. Gradius is still here, by the way, like doing fine. Magician of Black Chaos. This is Monarchs. I don't know what Wrapped Dragon is. Then Execute, Cosmo Princess, Handy Lady, Dark Attribute Spellcaster, Something of Darkness, Spirit Messenger, and then Reptiles. Where are Psychics? Candy Psychics? Not fucking here. The closest you get to Psychics is Handy Lady. This is the closest you have to Psychics. But yeah, this is the best 4 deck... this is top 4, basically. These are the top 4 lists. If we go to just the winners, it becomes this. These are only the decks that won tournaments. And this is part of the Galaxy Cup General Division. So as we can see, again, it is Defiant Soul in first, then Animagica, Execute, Handy Lady, Big Viper, which is Gradius, Monarchs. I don't know what Meijaku is. Spirit User. I assume this is Charmers. And then Reptiles. Yeah, that is that. That is that all done. So... with that said, I did want to quickly, before we jump in and actually play some speed, just very, very briefly, I did want to talk about Summer Games Fest. So Summer Games Fest, as everyone's probably, you know, at least somewhat in on it, told us about a bunch of different games. These are the games that I personally am excited for, which is quite a lot. Usually, when you get one of these, like, games conferences, it's like, there's like 3 games I give a shit about. But this year, so many games. So how many high techs were in top 100? 3. I believe it's 3. So, Final Fantasy VII Revelation. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, I love Final Fantasy VII. I don't think the remakes have been as good, but I'm looking forward to finishing it off. We got Ocarina of Time remake, which is interesting. Looking forward to seeing where that goes. Animagica mentioned. Go back in the hole, Hikari. Persona 6, looking forward to that. Persona 4 Revival, really looking forward to that as well. I'm actually considering streaming Persona 4 Revival when it comes out next year. Dragon Quest Monsters, The Withered World, looking forward to that. Final Fantasy Resonance is a bit of a weird one. This is like a mobile game that has been discontinued and now has been turned into a like single-player RPG, which is interesting. So many good games coming out this year and next. I don't get the money for all of them. You're just gonna have to start stealing, Serena. You're just gonna have to start stealing. So Kingdom Hearts 4. I don't know how I feel about Kingdom Hearts 4. I really like Kingdom Hearts 2. I really didn't like Kingdom Hearts 3. So I don't know what I'm feeling with Kingdom Hearts 4. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, Xenoblade Genesis. I still haven't played any Xenoblade games properly. Like, I've touched some Xenoblade games. I've never played them. I've never finished them, so I need to actually play some of these. Resident Evil Veronica. I've never played the original Veronica, but I really like Resident Evil games. Guild Wars 3 is Guild Wars 3. And then Stranger Than Heaven, which people will probably know this as it's that game that's basically Yakuza, but has Snoop Dogg in it and Tupac. So I am excited for all of these games. These are all the games that I'm personally looking forward to. But with that done, now it's time. We're actually going to play. We're going to play some speed, guys. We should probably also turn on sounds. That might help. It still sounds really quiet. Either way, we should be fine. Let's jump in. We're at dual level 7, which just goes to show how much I've been playing this. Alright, we're going to hop in. We're going to play our awful dinosaur deck, and we're going to try and just do things. I am not expecting this to go well. Like, we're not expecting this to go well at all. If we get wins, at the end of the day, I'm going to feel quite happy. We're Val best deck. I mean, we might play against one. Ultimate Dragons. I don't even know what skill this is. So this is like the really old Blue Eyes skill, right? This hand is so garbage. Okay. By the way, I do not know how to play my deck. We are going to be just learning this as we go. Guys, you've got to, we've all got to agree right now. You're not going to laugh at me when I lose to Blue Eyes, okay? We just need to, get that out of our systems. Alright. We do that plus that. I mean, he's got one set, right? Surely we could try and just kill him. Surely. Surely we have the ability to do so. Alright, let's go Fossil Dig. I think with this, I am just going to grab Misk. We'll summon out Ovi. Give me the baby. Oh, I shouldn't have added baby. I should have added the other guy and then used the skill to get baby. That would have made way more sense. Alright. We'll do this. We'll bring out Arch. Arch effects. Add double evolution. I mean, at this point, does it matter what we grab? I could just send that to bring that back. That doesn't really do anything for me. We're not going to have any other ways to pop. You don't really matter right now. Do I just grab you? I've already normaled, so I can't do anything with him. Right, we'll drop this out. Do you need to pop a dinosaur? Level 4 or lower dinosaur monster. So if I go into Linkuriboh, does Linkuriboh just kind of get stuck on the board? It kind of does. Which is awkward, because I really... With the old version of the deck, it would be very easy. I guess I don't need to worry about it too much. Let's go ahead and just make Linkuriboh. We'll use the skill. Throw this. Grab this. Okay, so I could use that effect, pop that if I wanted to bring something back. That doesn't, strictly speaking, do anything huge for me here. The other thing I could do is just make this, which I don't hate. How many dinosaurs do we have in the graveyard currently? We have 2, and then that. Okay, so we should be fine. Do we have a 4 in the grave? No, we don't. Oh, let's see. I guess it's fine. We'll just do this. We'll go 1, 2, make Lagia. We'll go double evolution pill. We'll banish you and you. From the deck, summon you out. This is probably enough, right? we have a spell trap negate. What is this? What does this do? Negate the attack, draw a card, then the monster's immediately effect resolves. Okay, I'll just stop that, I guess. %100% win rate. We can retire now, guys. That's the end of the stream. 100% win rate. Hello, Icy. Welcome, welcome. We did an exclamation mark Icy in the chat. They finally released Top 100. Yes, we've literally spent like almost 2 hours going through all the different stuff, all the different decks and stuff. I faced a Val yesterday and lost. I have no clue what that deck even does. I mean, I also have no idea. One set card from Blue Eyes, how intimidating. Imagine if we had lost to that, though. That is the scariest thing. If I lose, if someone like, if I queue into Stardust, and they do like full Stardust combo, and they beat me up, I'm like, oh yeah, I expected to lose. If I lose to a Blue Eyes player that's set 1 and passed, that you would just never live down. Oh, our opponent doesn't have a skill. Easy. 100 win rate, we can retire best speed player. Exactly. I don't know how this deck works. I need to play this deck like 100 games to actually get a vibe for how this is actually supposed to play. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Is this gonna be just like stall? Is that what we're against now? Yo, Infestation Pandemic. Alright, step 1. I will reveal Ground Xeno. I will grab Baby Cerosaurus. Part 2 of the plan. So if I do this, I destroy that, which is fine. So I still have that in reserve. What am I using that for? I genuinely don't know. Alright. Let's go Ground Xeno. I'll add Xeno Meteorus. We're going to pop the baby. IDP. I mean, it's annoying. I guess I'll Meteorus here. Okay, I finished. I found more deck list. I'll update it, but it's done for now. Nice. I could pop this up quick. So is it... We got the extra data on the side here. Bam, there we go. 4 Unknown Archive, 1 Royal Rebel, 2 High-Tech Dragon, 8 Ether, 15 Hero. Very close between Gradius and Dark Galaxy, though. Yep, I mean, that's fine. Come forth, Xeno Meteorus. I'm not going to lie, guys. I forgot that would resolve like that. Well, goodbye, Xeno Meteorus. I mean, we can get it back, so that's not the end of the world. But it's very funny. We don't actually have a normal right now. We can do that, which is fine. Well, I guess we're going to go OB. Can you tell that I'm out of practice, guys? Can you tell? Red Eyes Fusion! Go Misk! Protect! I guess we're gonna grab just another baby. Give me that baby. I still don't know what we're doing with this. Fossil dig. I mean, we haven't normaled yet. But, like, I could summon that off of that. And I guess I could just normal it. Is there a benefit to that? I could grab this and just normal that. I don't hate that. Sure, I'll just grab that. We'll go Misc Effect for 1. We'll grab Arch. Arch Effect. Pop the baby. I mean, I could grab that, but it always puts me in a really awkward position. Part of me is like, I'd rather just grab, like, you. And just have a 4. I could pop that. Again, all that does is get me a baby back. And getting a baby right now doesn't help. Just having a baby later help. Assuming we don't die this turn, or we don't win this turn. I don't think it matters. I'll tell you what, screw it. We'll go OV, pop Arch. Bring that back. We'll go 1, we'll go 2, summon out Lagia, which can go up here. Then, ooh. I forgot about that, actually. Ooh. Ooh, that's bad. Okay. No, we're fine, we're fine. I keep forgetting I have this skill. Okay, we just said that, and then everything's fine. Then we can go double evolution pill. That's actually really funny. Like, you just banish this from my hand. We will not negate myself. That would be rather disappointing. Summon this out. Giant Rex effect. Come on back. And he's got 2600 attack now. Then we'll just go battle. Go get him, champ. We did it, guys. We beat No Skill Guy. Opponent thought this was character duels. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Opponent can't handle spell negate. That's all we have to do. As long as we can just make one spell negate. One spell trap negate. That's all we need. And then we just win. We just win every game. I believe. I believe in our ability to come out on top. We still haven't gone first yet. I think actually going first is going to be a lot more difficult. Because I have no idea what my turn 1 end board is going to be looking like. Alright, Speak of the Devil, we're going first. And we're against Joey. I mean, this is a hand. This is awful. Alright. We'll go for this. We'll send that, grab this. I think I have to do this. And then we have to banish that. Oh, this is going to be weird. Alright, I'm going to activate double evolution pill. I think maybe I get rid of this. Because this is... We're never doing it twice. It comes down to, do we use the trap card? Right, let's do this and this. And we'll summon out this. Then I'm going to set and set and then pass. I think that's the best we got with this. It's Fraud Eyes. I mean, it could be, but it still might beat us. Our hand was pretty rubbish. If you control a Red Eyes monster, or if your opponent controls a monster, add one of the 5 monsters from outside your deck to your hand, the rest of the graveyard. Add a polymerization from outside of it to your hand. Okay. Reactivating transmigration. Okay, this... The ritual monster it makes is, like, annoying, right? He's actually playing just regular Gear Free. Alright, what does Lord of the Red do? What turn you first turn when a card effect is activated, except Lord of the Red, you can target one monster on the field and destroy it. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a card effect is activated, except Lord of the Red, you can target one spell trap card on the field and destroy it. Okay. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so he's activating that. So this is... So you can target a spell or trap and destroy it. Is what's going to happen here. Let's wait and see what happens here. So I don't know when this goes on the stack. Okay, so it goes on the stack now. Okay, so he's going for that. Alright, so I think, yeah, do we droplet this? Flipping it down doesn't help. If we activate droplet, we could send, then we still have the trap to bring that back. Alright, we're going to droplet. Let's send this. And then we just stop this. Now, I don't know if this is actually good or not. I've never played against these cards, so I have no idea what I'm doing. Alright, what does this one do? Neither player can target this card with effects. During the main phase, destroy one card your opponent controls, and if you do inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the monster's original attack. Use this effect number of times up to the number of monsters. Okay. So I could just activate this now. Discard one card, negate the activation if you do destroy the card. Okay, there's nothing I can really do about that now. So we just take 3,000 here. Can I actually beat this? Because this is once per turn. Oh, but he hasn't got a card to discard anymore. Well, I think we just let this go. Oh, 4,000 attack. 4,000 attack is a problem. Okay. Unfortunately, we can only bring you back. Alright, we have no cards. During your main phase, you show control if different damage. Okay. I mean, I don't think one card is going to do it for us. I mean, that's probably the best card we could have drawn, but I still don't think it's going to do it for us. I could grab that, then grab that. That doesn't do anything. Grabbing that doesn't do anything because I only have 2 in. I could grab that into that. That still doesn't do anything immediately. I think it's the best we have though, so I guess we'll grab Ovi. Normal summon Ovi. The Glimmersaurus wouldn't do anything is the issue. I mean, it's probably the best we've got, but... Alright, we'll grab this out. Oh, I needed to keep the other baby. I needed to keep the other baby. Okay, that's fine then. So the play would have been instead... Yeah, I don't think it made any difference, really. Instead of that, we needed to keep the other baby in the graveyard, use baby, activate OV, baby for baby. Then what? What do I do now that I have a baby and another guy from the deck out? I don't think it matters. I think we lost too many resources early. The only thing is, I don't know what we were supposed to do there. You don't have another spell? Well, one, we only have the one, but two, we need to have a card to destroy, right? So we would summon it out pop, and we also have nothing to summon off of it either. So none of those plays would have worked. Was it just our hand was too shit? Because we could have not used Droplet, waited for the fusion to come down. But then he just pops our Dino. We would have to then send the other one. So, like, the only thing that changes is we get to keep our trap card. So we would have maintained the trap, but we still would have lost absolutely everything anyway. I think we might have to just chalk that down to our opening hand was giga shit. This is another giga shit hand. Oh my god. This is abysmal. This hand doesn't do anything. These two are Garnets, which does not help me in the slightest. Misk for one doesn't do anything. We can send this and set this. Misk gets me just a level 1 body that doesn't do anything. Unironically, just like making Linkaribe might be the best play I have here. There's nothing else to do, right? I could activate this and just get him on the board. That's the alternative. Maybe we just don't... Maybe we keep the Misk in hand and just use it as protection. That's still so bad. Because we've only been able to use that. Ugh. Alright. We're going to pill. I'm going to banish this and this. I'm going to summon this out. And then I'm going to pass. Behold. Behold how good my dinosaur deck is, bros. Just check. I'm 1,310th place global. Worlds isn't ready for my skills. One of these days. One of these days. I can't believe how bad. Both games I've gone first, I've had hands that just literally don't do anything. But this is actually crazy. Like, don't get me wrong. I shouldn't be, like, popping off every single duel or anything. But, like, I expect to have, like, something I can do. Okay. Go, Misk. Protect. Right, what does Faris do? Vision Hero. In your spell and trap zone. Okay. So we have increase. Level 4 Vision Hero from your deck. So I assume we're now going to get the one that searches, right? What's it called? Vion? Yeah, Vion. At least you don't lose this turn. I mean, I hope I don't, but I don't know. I don't know enough about his deck to know if I'm actually going to be dead or not. Okay, Vion gets the search. Adds Poly. I don't see that comeback happening. I believe, okay? We just need to believe. Just because our hand was complete dog shit, and I don't think a single draw is going to do anything, we just have to keep believing. I got one Destiny Hero monster, add one hero monster with a different name from your deck to your hand. Okay. So draw hand is now here. Make each player draw one card. Hey, Oviraptor changes everything. We can now get the combat. Doom skips his battle phase. Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to like try and FTK me or some shit. Like, I have no idea. Grabs Stratos. Is he going to go for the pop? He's not. Okay. The issue is, I think the second he summons Plasma, I think I probably have just lost the game. I don't know how I win through Plasma. Holly. Okay, so we're making... What is it? Phoenix Destroyer? Nope, we're making... What are we making? Who are you? What do you do? Once per turn, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, one face-up hero monster you control. Except this card, the opponent's targeted card loses attack and defense equal to you. Okay. I think I'm fine with this. Sends Malicious. Okay, so now Plasma is on the field. I think I do just lose to Plasma. Okay, I don't think I can do anything about that. I guess I activate his effect. Ah, that's a shame. I was hoping I could send it, but it's not for cost, so it does make sense. I mean, I have got to keep my Tyranno, which is something. So, like, he needs to have back row to protect him, right? Otherwise, I'm just going to slap him with Tyranno and then get rid of Plasma. If I get rid of Plasma, like, there's a slim chance, but I don't think it's going to matter. Target one polymerization spell card, one fusion spell card, or a change script in your graveyard. Set the target to your field. Right, now he's going to use Fusion Destiny. So now he gets out the big boy. I don't know how I'm supposed to beat this. I guess I need exactly Droplet. And even that feels a little bit unrealistic. But without Droplet, I literally don't think I can do anything. Your opponent cannot target cards you control with card effects. Does Droplet target? Why have you given me Dark Angel? When a spell card or effect you activate resolves, negate that effect. And if you do, or if you do not have an effect, destroy that card. I mean, I can just get rid of this, right? Alright, let's see what we get. That's not a good draw. The funny thing is, this is sat here like negating my spells, and I'm just sat here like I have no spells to negate. Droplet. Hello. Okay, do you help me? I need to get rid of this. Does this target? Choose that many effect monsters. Okay, so it doesn't target. So I have to get rid of that. Although, does this even work? Because doesn't it negate... Isn't Plasma negating its effect anyway? Why can't I Droplet? I should be able to Droplet. I think I'd probably go for this anyway. Because, like, having this on the field doesn't really do much for me. And having Link Reaver in the graveyard can help. Right, so he's got something he can activate. We know this one is the spell card, so this is something that he can use. Oh, he's got that he's going to use. Okay. I can use this, but I'm running out of time, actually. Target this. I spent too much time reading his shit, trying to understand what everything does. Get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. It's probably enough. So we'll do you and you. I do not have enough time to do this. Ironically, I think I actually could have won this. Well, I don't have enough time. But, like, I have a spell trap negate to negate his one spell trap. I've negated his only 2 monsters that matters. I flip his cards down. I swing into them, and I think I just win. I think I'd just win there if I didn't run out of time. But to be fair, I shouldn't have had a chance to come back into that, right? Because I think he got a little bit too aggressive with the draw card that let me draw 2 cards. If he didn't give me 2 free draws, I was absolutely screwed. There was nothing I could have done. But that is at least a good sign, right? That we could have won that game. All right. We're going first again. Can we have a good hand this time? We're against Grandpa's cards. This is... It could be better, but this is a playable hand. All right. We'll send this. We'll grab this. Reveal Ground Xeno. Grab Baby. Do we just activate Ground Xeno now? Probably not really a reason not to. So we'll go Ground Xeno. We'll grab Meteorus. I'd love to pop the baby. We'll just wait. Hey, another win. Oh, man. I really... Hey, new special processing. We'll take that. I really need, I think, to just play a ton. I think that fundamentally is what I need to do to actually, like, not be complete garbage. Right, let's see. All right. The issue is, I've had a good hand once going first. And good is maybe a bit debatable. But I bet now that my opponent isn't just going to scoop, I'm going to draw, like, a garbage turn one again. Hello, Murata. Welcome, welcome. Tuning of the Doom King. I don't know if that's the new skill. Oh, Jesus, come on, deck. What are we doing here? We keep drawing... I suppose this is going to happen in a deck like this full of just garbage, but it still doesn't feel particularly good. Right, we'll add this to hand. Power Engraved Memories. What are we even doing with this? We don't have any way to pop. This hand just doesn't do anything, does it? So I can't use your effects. You don't do anything. I can't. How is this bad? Okay. Do I just summon Salamander, set, and pass, and that's the turn? Unironically, I think this is the best play I can make. Which is abysmal. But, like, what else can I do with this hand? Don't worry, guys. I'm sure that DDD is not going to be able to pop off and kill me through my 1850 pass. Okay. So he's got a free witch. He's got gate. And he can activate the witch as well, which is kind of crazy. I suppose, like, in the power level of the current, like, speed format, it's probably completely fine. But it's just when I've made a board from, like, 2004 or something, it's like... Okay. So he sends Lamia. Behold! Infestation Pandemic! You fool! And now I can activate Meteorus! Haha! But now you feel like a right silly Billy. To be honest, I probably should have surrendered already, but we're going to see where this goes. I do quite like DDD as well, so I do kind of want to see what he can do. Right, goes into Genghis. Actually, we're going to use Genghis. We Swell Slimin. Summon out Serb. Okay. Summons Necro Slime. Ready for more fusions. Let's go. Oh, making Gilgamesh. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Genghis effect. Okay. Pops Gate. Brings back Requiem. Goes into Siegfried. I mean, you know what that is. Goodbye, Super Soren. I was hoping that we might actually get to use Super Soren's turn to keep us alive, but something tells me that was wishful thinking. Okay, another Genghis comes down. Is Requiem a rush card? No. It's not. It kind of, like, I could see this card, just this art, and I could be like, yeah, I could see that as being a Dark Galaxy card. Hi, Wave King Caesar! And then Machine X, and then we're just Giga Dead. Are we alive? Are we going to be on 50 life points? That's really funny. Does Machine X have like a burn effect? It's really funny that we didn't actually die on that first turn. That's kind of crazy. Misk here is also a really funny draw. Go, Misk, go! DDD player had the wrong page of the spreadsheet open. No, this is full power DDD, okay? This was just the best he could do. Trust. With what we have here, I think we have to send just one. Oh yeah, I can't even stop this, because this is just any monster effect, isn't it? Well, guys, I think that might be the end of the line for us. Go! Petit Pteranodon! Yeah, what you gonna do, huh? Yeah, I know you're scared. Come at me, bro. Why are we flipping cards? Take control of it until the end phase. Alright, let's just get out of here if he's just going to mess around. Not even going to let us end the game. Alright. Alright. This is becoming a pattern. If we go first, we are always opening unplayable. So we just need to not go first, right? That seems to be the way that we get through this. Son Goku. Right, it's another Kaiba player. Now, our track record against Kaibas has been pretty good. We're going second as well, which I think is beneficial to us. Are dinos good in Rush? At least paper? No. Dinos, unfortunately, are just terrible in every version of Yu-Gi-Oh! They had, like, a little tiny, like, stint of playability where they were, like, okay, but they were never good. That's the issue. Blue Eyes Alternative. Okay, reveal, special summon alternative. Okay, alternative set one pass. Surely we can beat alternative set one pass. Alright, let's normal summon Ovi. Let's start with that. Ovi effect. Dynamic Dino is bad. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just not very good. When it gets the next wave of support that it gets in OCG, it, like, becomes playable, but not, like, good. Okay. So here, I think we just grab Meteorus. We'll then use our skill. Reveal Meteorus, grab Baby. Might as well use the other part of the skill. Go ahead and grab this. We'll go Misk now. Misk effect for 1. I see some base gameplay. Unfortunately, the gameplay hasn't been, like, going super well for us. But, like, I think we should win this game at the very least. But I hope we can win this game. Alright, pop the baby. We'll grab Folus here. Can't use that. So here... If I do that, does that actually help me? Because I could pop it, but then I could turn that into that, get that, use that, pop that, get that for free, get another 4. But then what? Go for another pop? Awkward. Awkward as hell. I don't think there's a reason to do that. I think we're just probably going to grab, like, Giant Rex. I could pop that, get that back. Still doesn't really change a lot. Let's do this anyway, though. Right, we'll go OV. Pop Arch. Thank you for the follow, Eli. Bring this back. Then we'll go for Lagia. We'll go double Evo Pill. The meta isn't great for dinos, that's understandable. I mean, yeah. But plus, I'm like learning the deck as we go currently, so I'm in a bit of a weird spot on like multiple fronts here. I could just get rid of this Felos. I don't need this Felos in my hand. Keeping that in graveyard is probably not relevant either, but... Alright. We can use your effect. Goes for Successor Soul. No. Pop the baby. Meteorus effect. It doesn't matter what I summon here. So we will just summon Leos. We'll grab Evo Singularity. Get rid of this. Bring out Frost. Summon out Lars. Go get him, champ. We did it! 100% win rate against Blue Eyes. I'm not sure if that's something to be proud of, but we did it. I mean, we would have beat the D hero as well, to be fair. We would have beaten the Destiny hero player. So, at least I think we would have beaten the Destiny hero. Like, he might have had something I just don't know about. Like, absolutely could have. I don't know if playing Ophion and the Evo stuff for Singularity is a bit much. I personally prefer only playing the Evo stuff. I mean, this is a list that I saw, and I was like, I want to try it out. Right, this is not my own original creation. This was a list that got, I think, like top 4 in a tournament at some point. And I was like, I want to just see how this works. I kind of get the logic, right? Because you can, depending on the matchup, you can just try and floodgate your opponent out. But yeah, it does seem very, very high roll. Elements Unite. What the heck is Elements Unite? Start with 500 life points. Start with Gate Guardian. And he just gets these 3. So he's just... What? I think I remember when the Paradox Brothers came out. And this was like a skill. Needless to say, I wasn't expecting to run into Gate Guardian today. Well, guess we don't have to worry about how the heck we were going to play that. Although I don't think it would have mattered, right? Like, I don't think we could lose that. But who even knows? Who even knows? It might be cheeseless then. If you play only the evil stuff, you get more tech space. And thanks to Sprint, basically everything becomes one-card combos. You can also play a bow on top to make sure you set up Singularity if you do the Evilite. The issue is I would need, like, a full list to, like, envision how I would want to play the deck, I suppose. Mind you, I suppose I haven't really been using, because the primary issue with Ophion is it's just summoning it feels really, really difficult. Like, you kind of need, like, the very specific hand to actually get to it. But even then, if I took out the Evil Swarm stuff, all I would do is free up 1 space in the extra deck and 2 spaces in the main deck. It's like, it's not even like it's taking up a ton of room. Immortal Cyber Style. Okay. I'm going to assume that he's about to make Infinity. That's why I'm not a fan of Ophion, since it's always a 2-card combo. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Right, Nova Effect. Is this going to be, what, Infinity Vimana? Because I should be able to beat Infinity Vimana. Okay, what are the last 2 cards doing? Alright, that set is more worrying than everything else that's going on right now. Alright, we reveal Ground Xeno, grab the baby. Is there any reason to not do that right now? Probably doesn't matter. I can just negate both of these. So we summon... Drop that. I think that's probably the best we've got. Right, let's go for the summon Ovi. Ovi effect. Right, he's going to use Vimana. I guess, yeah, I'm just going to throw down a droplet. I'm going to get rid of you, and I'm going to get rid of you. You, and you. Then I'm going to grab Misk. Misk here is still kind of weird. Because if I use Xeno, I'll grab that, then pop Baby. Using Misk is probably more valuable here either way. As long as I can make a spell trap negate, I don't think it should matter. Alright, we'll use this part of the skill first. Go ahead and grab this. Misk for 1. Summon out Arch. Arch effect. Pop the baby. Grab pill. Do I just grab another baby here? I don't hate getting another baby. Then I will ground Xeno. I'll grab Meteorus. Oh, I have to destroy card in hand. Okay, that's good to know. We'll just get rid of this then. Summon that. The issue is room right now. Let's just go for it anyway. Let's summon Meteors. We're going to see where this goes. I mean, I could just make Savage, which is very funny. The problem with Savage is it would turn off Hill. Alright, let's go for this. Get out the Linkuriboh. We use Meteorus here. Pop the baby. Summon out Frost. Get out another 2. Because this is hand or graveyard. It's not field. One annoying part of it. With that in mind, so I can overlay those and then just go for that. The issue is I still never have a 4. Right, let's do this. I think I'm going to be awkwardly unable to do everything I want to do, no matter how I do this. I don't remember what you do. Let's just use you for now. No, we should be fine, because I've got the trap card still. Right, we'll go Super Soaring now. Summon out Misk. Then we go for Lagia. He's doing a lot of thinking. I don't know if he's like reading all of my cards because he has no idea what my cards do. But did you not have Dolka? No, I just don't have Dolka, unfortunately. I did specifically want to try and get Dolka, but I didn't end up getting it from the selection packs. And I was like, I don't want to spend a load of money on it. Go get him, champ. No. I love how he was like, I'm just going to wait and see if, like, my opponent just doesn't use effects. I mean, I get it, right? Like, sometimes you just got to. But at the same time, I'm feeling pretty good there. Yeah, I would love to play Dolka, but I've been waiting because, like, he should be out of the selection box soon, right? I opened stream expecting Dino Maximum. No, Quantum. I would love to play Dynamaximum without thinking I was literally wasting my time. But I just do not think it is remotely... I don't think I would have fun playing Dynamaximum. Like, maybe if I was on a fresh account playing in Bronze, maybe then I could actually get wins with it. But hello, Quantum. Again, I'm gonna keep giving Quantum shoutouts. I feel like I don't give Quantum shoutouts anymore, so we're just gonna keep throwing them at you. That's what we're gonna do. This hand is actually not awful. Like, this isn't the best hand in the world, but there are worse hands than this for sure. Like, this is easy Misc, easy Baby. We don't have the one of Arch in the deck anymore, so we can't just do the one of Play. But we can still do the normal summon, which gets us pretty much to the same place. Alright, so this is... When a spell, card, or effect is activated on the field, you can negate the effect. If you do attach that card to this card's material, when the opponent's monster declares an attack, you can target... And it changes, so it's a spell negate. Is he just done spell negate pass? Okay. Let's start with this. I will reveal Ground Xeno. I will grab the baby. I will send this. I will set this. I guess I'll activate Ground Xeno now. Let's see if he wants to negate this. Hope Harbinger Pass is broken. Exactly. See, you're starting to see the vision. Grab Meteorus. And we're even going to pop the baby. Dual level max with Nouvelles. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, I guess with this... It'd be really funny to do that. I want to do the funny play. Right, I'm going to summon out Petitrodon. Alright, then... I mean, I could even do this. I probably shouldn't have taken Petitrodon then, really. We'll pop Petit. Summon out Giant Rex. Go 1, 2 into Mars. Oh, I guess I could have done the fusion play actually. That would have been really funny. Alright, we'll go Fossil Dig, grab Baby. Normal Arch. Arch effect. We'll pop the baby. Grab Pill. Baby effect just need a 4. We go 1, 2 into this. Activate double Evo Pill. Nope, not going to negate ourselves. Into Tyranno. Go get him! Time to qualify in speed. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if the back-to-back, literal back-to-back, what does Photon Jumper do? skip your next battle phase or special summon this card from your hand to the end of this turn. End this battle phase. This card is sent to the graveyard. You can add... Okay. I'm a little bit confused as to what's happening here. So Galactic Karibo's effect activated. Discard this card, special summon the Galactic Structure for your hand, then change the attack target to it. Okay. There's a lot happening right now. Okay. Okay, I mean that a lot happened there. That was pretty cool. Let's see what he's got. If only Dolka, if only. Lars tries to be Dolka. He's not Dolka, but he tries. I mean, am I gonna die? Like, I genuinely don't know what he does. Like, he might kill me, I don't know. But I can flip all his guys down. I've got a couple of negates knocking about. I mean, I guess I kind of have to do this. I don't know if I actually have to. I feel like I do. I'm going to detach these two. I'm going to keep the Karibo. Okay. It's going to my turn, huh? I mean, I guess I'll set this. Be gone! Be gone! What does he do? Add a photon, spell trap for you. Okay, that's fine. Unless he adds some sort of hand trap. Okay, I think we're fine. I think we're fine. We'll just beat him with our evils. Okay, Kakudori. I was really not expecting him to have double hand trap, though. As in, like, double combat hand trap. Like, that's just not what I expected to run into. Oh man, Julius from Sweden. Chaz Princeton. Now, is this even going to have a skill? It does have a skill. It's a Chaz skill. What Chaz skill would you play? Arm Dragon Vortex. Is this the newer Arm Dragon one? I don't know if it is or not. Again, we just keep opening these weird ass cards that just do not help me. Alright. We always send this, we always grab this. We have to summon Ovi because we literally don't have another play. Off of you. I can grab that, but that doesn't do anything. So I think it has to be Misk. Otherwise, I think we literally aren't having a play. Activate Misk. Grab out Arch. Pop the baby. Grab the Folus. Grab probably one of these. We'll go ahead and make Linkaribo. Ovi pop. grab you back. Grab out Xeno. Now the question is, do we even bother popping? Because, I mean, as is, I can just make that. That's not bad. The issue is... he's just kind of in the way. The alternative is like pop, grab that, then that's not doing anything. That's alright, let's just make this. We'll make the funny ward. Come on down, Borreload Savage Dragon. Alright, and then I'll go Super Soaring. We'll grab this back. And then we'll go Double Evolution Pill. I don't know if it matters what I get rid of here. I mean, it's not like the sexiest end board, but like it's an end board, right? Like we have interruptions, right? Not playing the main level 12 that mills a dino seems weird to me. Okay, this entire list was just taken, right? Literally the only difference between this and the list that we took it from was we're not playing the Dolka. That's literally it. What does that do? Special summon a level 3 armed dragon from your deck in defensive position. I think I'll allow that. I don't know if I should stop that, but I'm gonna let it go. What does this do? So 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard. Go to the graveyard and if you do special summon a level 5 armed dragon from your deck. Okay. Again, I don't know where I'm supposed to stop this deck. So we're just gonna kind of let it ride and see what happens. I mean, this feels like an okay place to stop it, to be honest. I'm going to try stopping it here. Because that's going to give him a +2. And he's just -1'd off that. What does this do? Adds the 5 to hand. Okay, that's fine. Tribute summons. I don't think I hit this. And goes special level 7 on dragon from your hand or deck. Okay, I don't think I mind hitting you with this. Okay, we have 1 interaction left, but it is a spell trap hit, so... Okay, so I think I just win, right? Like, what can he do to stop this? Okay. Everything is fine. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. I know, alright, I know we're not playing against, like, really strong decks. But it's really fun when it works, okay? It's really fun when my deck gets to kind of do things I'm wanting to do. Like, ending on a board there of Borreload Savage Dragon, Linkuriboh. I mean, the Linkuriboh, we really didn't want to be there, but we had no way to get rid of it, right? Plus the UCT and the Lagia. That just felt like a cool end board. Obviously, I'd rather back row as well behind it, but beggars can't be choosers. This is a hand. So we can grab baby, then we can take Ground Xeno, get that pop baby. Oh, against Unchained. Unchained is actually a really weird deck. He's got the soul as well. got this out as well. Does this do anything during my turn, though? So he could just do that whenever he wants. Okay, he's got this one out now. So this is quick effect. During your opponent's main phase, you can target one special summoned face that special summoned monster and then link them together. Okay. So if I normal summon, he can't do anything there. Alright, let's start with this. So we'll reveal Xeno. We'll grab the baby. We'll use the other half of the skill as well. We'll send this. Grab this. Then... because that's immediately after the effect resolves. That'd be then. Which means I might be able to do that. I don't know how that's going to work. Right, either way, we're going to summon out this. We'll activate the effect of Ovi. We're going to go ahead and grab Misk. We'll activate the Misk now. Then... let's go for Xeno. Add this to hand. Pop the baby. We use Xeno off of that. I don't think it matters too much here. Probably going to grab Giant Rex. I'm waiting to see the way this resolves. I don't know how exactly it's going to work. Which is a little bit tricky. Alright, we're going to use your effect now. Okay. Pop you. Summon you. We'll use Xeno's effect. We'll use you and you. I mean, I don't really want you back in my hand, if I'm being completely honest. So it's probably going to be you. Okay. It goes for that. Then I should just be able to droplet. Probably just going to send this, right? And I can stop this. I believe that makes me fine. Grab this back. I can even just pop this. This is kind of funny. Grab this. Gigantozauler's effect. Put that back. Summon this up. I didn't get the effect. Why didn't I get the effect? Why didn't that work? I mean, I suppose it doesn't really matter, but I just expected it to work and it didn't. Right, we'll bring this back. We'll go 1, 2 to summon this out. We'll activate Double Evolution Pill. Summon this out. Giant Rex. Summon it out. Why didn't your effect work? What did I misunderstand? If this card is special summon, you can target one in Dinosaur's from your graveyard up to you. That's fine. That's all fine and dandy. Then, if this card was special summoned from the grave... Oh. I see. So it's a then. So I needed to not activate the effect on the first summon. I needed to activate it only on the second when I brought it back after it's popped. Okay, that's good to know. That is good to know. That is a learning experience. And that's all we really can do. All we can really do is slowly improve by slowly getting to know our deck. But that is, unfortunately, guys, going to be the end of the stream. We've come to the end. Unfortunately, this is our usual end time. Realistically, I am not going to be streaming on Sunday. So, my next stream is going to be on Tuesday. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing on Tuesday. We might be doing something Rush related. We might be playing some more Speed. I'm not really sure, but we'll be doing something. And it will definitely be something Duel Links related, one way or another. But we're in a bit of a weird spot for Rush, because we're in kind of a waiting period where we're just waiting probably for the ban list until anything exciting happens for Rush. And even then, it's like, it's just a ban list. It's not anything crazy. For Speed, we're still kind of in the hype bit of Speed, because obviously the WCQ is like tomorrow, right? But then we're going to also be in a bit of a lull period where we're going to be waiting for a lot of content. So I don't know what we're going to be doing entirely stream-wise, but either way. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye!